Okay.
You guys are...
All right.
We're trying to bend the rules. It's fine.
No, we're not. We're having debate.
It's called podcasting.
If we
Hank.
list off all of our picks, just like list them all off and
That'd be
just keep
electric.
moving, that would be so boring.
It'd be electric.
This is the whole point of Mount Rushmore season, have discussion around it. Okay.
Over on the
From the guys that brought you God, what do we got?
The devil.
All right, we're going to go with
On today's Part of My Take, we have an incredible interview with a good friend of ours, Sean Evans from Hot Ones, in studio. Sean is a huge AWL. We talk about his career. We talk a little deep-seated, like, Pardon My Take history and, like, his favorite moments. Just awesome, awesome interview. We have Mount Rushmore of guys you wouldn't fuck with. We have the U.S. Open. We have Ja Morant's suspension. We have Bradley Beal getting traded. There's a ton of stuff, and it's all brought to you by our friends at Duracell. For you, sports are more technically demanding than auto racing. Because of those standards, Williams Racing only trusts one brand of disposable batteries, Duracell. You may not think you need the same batteries to help power Williams Racing. Well, until you do. That's because Duracell is engineered for more and a proud partner of Williams Racing. And Pardon My Take, learn more at Duracell.com. Also, shout out all the dads out there. We're taping this on Father's Day. You know you need batteries for all your kids' toys. Everything that comes with being a dad. Duracell is the number one battery. It is the battery for Pardon My Take. It is the battery for AWLs. And it is the battery for Williams Racing. So, Duracell.com. If you're a Pardon My Take listener, if you are an AWL, Duracell is your battery. And if you're a fan of Williams Racing, Duracell is your battery. So learn more at Duracell.com, the greatest battery ever created. Okay, let's go. Welcome to Pardon My Take. Today is Monday, June 19th, and Wyndham Clark has won the U.S. Open. Wyndham Clark has won the U.S. Open PFT when we had a Final Four of Ricky Fowler, Rory McIlroy, and Scottie Scheffler. Wyndham Clark is your U.S. Open winner.
Big dub for Colorado. Everything's coming up Colorado these days. Yeah, he is the U.S. Open champion. There was a great leaderboard. I love the golf fans that just talk about how good the leaderboard is on Sunday. They root for the leaderboard almost sometimes. The big loser this weekend was the course. That course sucked. I disavow that course. I know they're supposed to have another U.S. Open there in like 13 years or whenever. They should take it off. Because there was no big game feeling with this course. It was a soft course. You had two guys that shot 8 under in the first round, tied the record at a U.S. Open for it, and then the course just got softer. The marine layer, everybody was talking about the marine layer, like that was some sort of excuse. The course is a loser for making excuses. It was not becoming of a U.S. Open to be played at such a soft course.
Yeah, it was so soft that Ricky Fowler, who had the lead up until maybe the worst announcer's jinx of all time on Saturday night when he had like a 4-footer to have wire-to-wire start to finish in the first 3 rounds lead. He misses that. But Ricky Fowler, who I think what he finished, he ended up finishing 4th. He broke the U.S. Open record for birdies. So that was like the course was not what a U.S. Open course should be. The crowd sucked. We found out halfway through the tournament that they only released like 29,000 tickets, and then the LA Country Club bought half of those, more than half of those. They actually were in the works of trying to buy all of them. And so it was very corporate. There were holes where it felt like no one was there. Matt Fitzpatrick said it, like when he hit a hole-in-one, he was like, that just didn't feel like I hit a hole-in-one at the U.S. Open. And then we also had a plane, NBC plane, buzzing around the entire tournament. I know that this is a very old man thing, but I think most people agreed. They're like, what the fuck was that? Why was there a plane flying slowly overhead for the entire tournament? The LA Country Club, fuck you guys. I know you're the richest, most powerful people in the world. Stan Kroenke, a member. So that's the first L Stan Kroenke's probably ever taken. But yeah, the course was disappointing. The course was a big loser. Wyndham Clark, the big winner.
Yeah, I mean, we saw in the PGA Championship, the bunkers there were literally eating golf balls If you get a ball embedded in a bunker at the PGA, that ball is gone. Sorry, you got to find a new one. Rory gets his ball embedded. What hole was that? That was like the 14th hole?
Yeah, bullshit. Something like that.
The ball was embedded in the side of the bunker. And then Rory calls a rules official over, and they're like, oh, well, good news. You can just reach your hand in, pull the ball out, and then take a drop a club length away. Oh, yeah, you can actually put that on the green. So you're good. You can just take it closer to the hole. Made no sense to me. The course is a bitch.
Also, maybe plant some more trees, LA Country Club. How many times do we see guys miss terribly? Like Wyndham Clark did it, I think, on the 17th, and he just hit it in the other fairway, and it was like a perfect, like, he's like, oh, yeah, this is going to be decent angle. Like, he can be able, like, you shouldn't be rewarded for missing. I know the fairways are narrow there, but, like, when you hit it in the other fairway, it shouldn't be like, oh, no problem. You can still make par pretty easily.
Yeah,
Bitch course.
They had the Barrancas, which is basically just like a dried up piece of dirt that's on the side of a fairway. That doesn't really punish you that much. I didn't see any creeks out there. I didn't see any lakes. I didn't see any trees getting in the way. I don't like this. I disavow this. Listen, all the credit goes to Wyndham Clark because they all had to play the exact same course, and he ended up obviously playing well on Sunday. He nutted up when he had to, and he made some big shots. But as far as this tournament goes, I'm putting an asterisk on the U.S. Open this year.
Yeah, and now, so yeah, Wyndham Clark he deserves it. He was like, as everyone, Scotty never really got it going in the final round. Rory just couldn't hit like that one or two putts to put him through. Like, he kept on going pars. It felt actually reminiscent of the British Open or the Open Championship last year, when it was like, if he could just get one of these putts to fall and get a little positive momentum, he can win this tournament. And now Rory, like, what how long has it been since Rory won I think it's 2014?
2014,
so,
yeah.
2014.
2014.
Is Rory,
Hank.
Oh, hey, Hank. Is Rory a choker?
So, Big Cat, I was about to ask you this because it's been so long. I think if you go 10 years without winning a major, the narrative goes back, and now it's Rory will never win a major championship. He doesn't have the clutch gene.
Mm-hmm. Like, imagine 2014. You said, hey, we'll be in 2023, and Brooks Koepka will have more majors than you, Rory. Like, who's that? We don't know who that is.
I think if he finishes this, if he doesn't win a major, if he doesn't win the Open Championship this year, then I think start of next season, Rory will never win a major championship. It goes back to that conversation. And Hank and I were talking about this earlier. We have now officially activated ourselves into Brooks' legacy defense mode. So when it became clear that Ricky Fowler wasn't going to win, we just started rooting against anybody who already had a major championship.
Correct.
Because we don't want anybody to catch up to Brooks.
Yes. No. You like Rory winning there, and then now it's the 5 club. He joins it. Yeah. No, I completely agree. I think we all, and I speak for America, we all were rooting for Ricky Fowler to break through because the story. You're rooting for Rory over Ricky?
No, I'm saying the world was rooting for Ricky Fowler.
Oh, yes, that's what I'm saying. The world was rooting for Ricky Fowler. He, like, the story about how last year his game was so bad that he was an alternate to be in the U.S. Open, didn't actually play in the U.S. Open. Like, he was, whatever it was, like 7-8 years ago, he was with that group with Jordan Spieth and Justin Thomas and all these guys who've won big tournaments, and he never's been able to do it. It sucked because I really do think that putt on Saturday night, like, I think he misses that, and he just goes and he has to sit in his hotel room or his Airbnb and just be like, what the fuck? Like, how did I miss that to go into the lead on Sunday? And I do blame
that was the course's fault.
Yeah, it was the course's fault. It was the night. The fact that they were playing, it was so fucking dark when they were playing on Saturday. The whole tournament was a joke. A joke.
Mm-hmm. So
Jake,
I usually
Jake
like
has his hand raised.
Real quick, Jake. I usually like West Coast golf because it means that we get to watch the ends of these major tournaments in prime time at night, and that feels awesome if you're on the East Coast getting to watch like the end of a U.S. Open when you look outside and the moon's already out. That's a cool feeling. In this, I don't want it to be dark where they're playing though, and they did move it. They moved it up a little bit on Sunday, so they weren't going to run into that. But yeah, Saturday felt different. It felt different watching them at the end of the day. Mickey Mouse course, Mickey Mouse U.S. Open, USGA do better. Sorry, Jake, go ahead.
Yeah, so you guys mentioned Rory McIlroy winning the 2014. This is the last time he won a major. That was at Royal Liverpool. guess where the 2023 Open Championship is next month? Royal
Sanders.
Liverpool.
Oh, Royal
He's
Liverpool.
won there before.
Got
Can't
it.
putt, Jake.
Yeah, fucking 10 years ago, Jake.
That was when he could
Saying,
putt.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
he can't putt.
confidence.
But either way, it sucked that Ricky choked. I agree with you guys. I'm rooting for Brooks' legacy. Maybe it's just me, but when I was watching this tournament and Rory was fucking demolishing the ball off the tee, like what he hit, like 390. I can't be the only person. I was just thinking the whole time, if Blocky had that distance, he would have the tournament would have been over on Friday. Like Block would have it would have been over. So I'm just like thinking like, man, if Blocky can get this kind of distance, it's fucking curtains for the rest of the tour.
Yeah, I think if any of us had that kind of distance, we would probably win the U.S. Open. Like Rory McIlroy actually might suck at golf. He just hits the ball a long way.
It's so far. He's
On the
so
flip side,
small.
On the flip side, I love the 81-yard par 3 on Saturday on 15. I've never seen that before in a major.
Yeah, it was crazy.
That was cool.
What other things from this tournament did you guys take away? We saw Blake Griffin and Brooks meeting on Thursday or Friday. That's a great sign. Blake of the year coming up. Hey, Brooks didn't like the course. What are you going to do? You can't win if you don't like the course. It's not his fault. The course sucked.
He was bored. We're saying?
Yeah.
I was going to say similar to Ricky missing on 18 when Wyndham Clark hit that shot going into 18 in the club twirl. That was a sign right there, too.
Incredible.
That it was going to be a long day for Ricky Sunday.
So Wyndham Clark got his first win like a month ago.
Yeah, it was the
He's
second
won
win
one
over.
time
Yeah.
on tour, and he I don't think like his top finish at a major was like 73rd, and he hasn't ever played in a Masters. I mean, credit
He
to
was
him. I'm
nails.
happy for him. It seems like this is something that can catapult him into the next stratosphere of his career. But it didn't have that big game feel to me. It didn't seem like the lights were too bright.
It's also really tough because golf is a sport of privilege. Rich people play it. You're playing it at LA Country Club, which I think have like the richest owner, like the membership has to be the richest of any country club outside of maybe like one of the New York clubs. Like it is the elite of the elite. And then you have a guy named Wyndham, which is like, you name your kid Wyndham to win US Opens and be like a rich prick golf. I'm sure he's a really nice guy, but I'm saying like in your head, you're like, this fucking guy. So it took a little bit of the buzz away. Again, he's probably a really nice guy. He went to high school with Christian McCaffrey, so like at least he knows a football player. Like that's cool by me.
Mm-hmm.
They kept mentioning in the broadcast how he basically copied Ricky Fowler's putter and that they're like friends. But like, if you're Ricky Fowler, would that like kind of piss you off a little bit?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He cheated on the test.
Yes.
That would definitely piss me off. I hope that Ricky continues to play well though. Golf is a better game when Ricky Fowler's in contention on Sunday.
And Wyndham Clark did deserve it because he was like he took it at the beginning of the day on Sunday. Like he had I think one of those early birdies and it felt like everyone else was going backwards or just treading water and he was like, "Fuck, this is my tournament." We should say Max didn't play well.
He would tell you that
On Friday,
that's true. Thursday he was great. It sucks. I know people were coming after us. I consider Max a friend. It sucks. I hope he plays well in a major soon because it doesn't suck for anyone more than him. Like it sucks for him. He wanted to do well. So he's a great dude. He'll eventually do it. And when it happens, it's going to be the sweetest thing ever. I'm starting to make a list just so everyone knows. I'm making a fucking list. I think I'm number 1 on the list of Max doubters and haters, so I'll do like a suicide vest bomb, and then I'll kill up the whole list with myself included.
Yeah, it's tough to watch because he was very much upset on Friday, very upset on Saturday. Then he got drunk with Justin Thomas.
Yeah,
and they did some commentary this afternoon as the round was winding to an end. I think he was drinking rosé today, I guess that's a Southern California thing. But he was drunk commentating on the final round, and then he was roasting Justin Thomas, being like, yeah, if I was out there today, I probably would have shot like 7-8 shots better than you today. So at least Max is better than Justin Thomas. That's pretty cool.
Well, Justin Thomas also said, who's a friend of the program as well, said his golf game's never been worse, and he's like hit the lowest point. So
Yeah, I did see one fun fact about Wyndham Clark on Foreplay. They tweeted this out. I guess they did an interview with him. He blacks out every single number on all of his golf balls, which is very relatable. So it's like if you hit a Titleist 2 or a TaylorMade 1 or whatever, let's say he's playing a TaylorMade 1 and he loses that ball, then he takes out like another ball and it's TaylorMade 2, and then he's like, it's a constant reminder that you lost a ball, that you fucked up. So he just writes over all the numbers so they all look the same to him. That's the funnest fact about Wyndham Clark that I could track down.
And Christian McCaffrey.
And he knows Christian McCaffrey, and he's from Colorado.
Yes.
He's an athlete.
Oh, yeah, his caddy was like, be an athlete
I like
on that chip.
Yeah.
And then he chipped it and it went like 10 feet past the hole. Dude, don't try to be an athlete. You're not an athlete. You're a golfer. Speaking
of caddies, I really do think it all went downhill for Ricky when his caddy palled him in the first hole.
He pals him all the time.
You can't do that.
Did you hear that, though? That's how they communicate.
Yeah, but you can't pal someone there. He's like, yeah, hit this, hit that. You got this, pal. I would have walked off the course. I'm like, no, you know what? You don't say that to me. We got to either fight right now or, apologize and never say that again. You can't pal someone right before they're in the first hole of the U.S. Open, final round of the U.S. Open with the lead. Don't do that.
Hank and I played a round of golf yesterday, and I guess I can't tell you what happened in the
round
won? Because the video's not out yet. I can't say. It doesn't matter who won because
it was a team thing.
It was a team thing where Hank and I were trying together to break 100 through 9 holes.
No spoilers.
No, I'm not going to spoil it, but I'm just saying, as great teammates as me and Hank were, because the individual score definitely didn't matter, and we're never going to tell who won. But we never palled each other because we were pulling on the same rope.
Mm-hmm.
All for one for all. You don't pal your buddy.
Ricky was done after that. You don't pal your buddy. I have one other thing. I got to call out. The tracker community is the worst at this point because you can't. And this is not even actually where you guys think I'm going to go. If you track a golfer, you sign up to be like tracking that golfer all the time. You cannot miss moments. You can't miss things that happen with your golfer. It's something you depend on because I think I speak for a lot of people who bet on their golfers. The broadcast wasn't showing like 90% of these guys. They just weren't showing them. You need the tracker to track. This happened before the tournament. It makes me laugh. This is an official statement. Another update. There will be no tracking for the U.S. Open on this account. I'll be in attendance at Bonnaroo. I might check in every once in a while, but I'm looking forward to a fun time on the farm. As always, follow Fleetwood Legion for shot-by-shot updates. # Let's Go Tommy. That was from Tommy Tracker 420. It's the U.S. Open. You can't fucking skip the U.S. Open if you're a tracker.
You got to hand the account down to somebody else. This is you have 4 weekends a year that you absolutely no excuses have to be doing your job as a tracker.
He had to do a playoff the weekend before. That's overtime.
Yeah, but you don't get to take the U.S. Open off because you want to go do mushrooms in the woods with your friends. This is some real shit.
Bonnaroo hasn't been cool for like 15 years, and you're fucking skipping the U.S. Open. Tommy Tracker 420. Don't ever fucking tweet another one of Tommy Fleetwood's shots. You're done. It's over.
If somebody wants to start a new Tommy Fleetwood tracker, we will promote that tracker and we'll tell everybody this is the official one. But you have to be committed to it. You have to be absolutely locked in.
You cannot miss a shot.
Bubba put me onto the Siwoo Kim tracker because I've been betting a lot on Siwoo Kim, and he likes like when he's not tracking. He's some like middle school kid halfway around the world, and he just talks about how much homework sucks.
Love it. That's okay. If your guy's not playing, you can do whatever you want. But when your guy's playing, especially in a major, you're tracking. That's the rule.
You're on the clock, buddy.
Crazy.
Also, why is he promoting a different Fleetwood tracker? That's his rival. That's his competition.
Well, doesn't have that dog in him.
No, yeah. Apparently, he just kneeled down and was like, "I'm not the official tracker anymore. I'm going to Bonnaroo."
If Hank was a tracker, he would take off weekends like this. He's like, you got to have that work-life balance.
I'll tell you one thing. Henry Lockwood could never be a tracker. The guy has not even close to the amount of work ethic it takes to be a tracker.
Oh, I could track.
No chance.
Okay, then you should track Wyndham Clark.
Yeah, track someone.
So I have to pay attention to more golf
Yeah.
for my job.
No, watch
Yes.
more golf, but not play more golf.
You can't miss a shot.
Of who?
We're gonna give you a trial, Hank, at the Open
All right,
Championship. At
give
the
me a
Open-
live.
at-
I'll do it for live.
No.
I'll do it for live. I'll do it for live.
More races tracker.
Yeah, I'll Cam Smith. I'll be a Cam Smith tracker. Deal. See? More work to my plate.
All right. Other things. Bradley Beal got traded from the Wizards to the Suns.
Yeah.
I love the Kevin Durant. What did we say? Like 2019, you could maybe make the argument. Yeah, 2019 was kind of when the super team era started to shift. And we've had the winners of the last few championships have not been super teams where everyone's just, free agents, trades, all this. Kevin Durant's just like, I'm never leaving the super team era. I always have to be on a super team. Brooklyn, Phoenix, like let's add another guy on a max contract and have literally no one on our bench, and we'll just see how it goes.
That's the thing. It's like they're not even super teams really. They're just super threes. They've got three good players, and then the rest of the team. They didn't even have anybody to trade to the Wizards. Basically, they almost sent the gorilla over to DC.
Yeah.
They have nobody that you could even offload in terms of like getting a matching deal. So they had to sink Chris Paul, and who knows if he's going to be a Wizard for life. I think that he probably will. I don't think that this is a buyout situation. I think that Chris Paul is going to win a championship in DC. But I think if you look at the way that the Suns are created, yeah, they've got three good players, three great players on their team. But if you're telling me that they're going to compete with the Nuggets based on this roster, I don't see how they have no bench.
Yeah, no bench.
Bradley Beal's great though. Bradley Beal is a legitimately great
when
player.
he plays.
When he plays, and I mean, you get the injuries start to flare up when you have to play on the Wizards for long enough. That's all I'm going to say about that. Like it's very easy to take a day off work when your job description is go on the court with the rest of the Washington Wizards, minus Corey Kispert, who's awesome. But he's had some injuries, but when he plays, he's awesome. The Wizards front office was basically, it's been run by the equivalent of just like a rabid dog for the last, and that's probably giving a lot of credit to rabies. I would say just like a dog with hepatitis for the last 6 years, and it's starting to get to its brain at this point because the contract that they gave Beal, which Beal definitely, he deserved a big contract because he's a great player, but to give him a no trade clause too was actually insane. Pretty much forced the Wizards to trade him to a team that had no good assets to get in return for him 1 year after they signed him to this huge contract. You could have done business with so many other. You could have probably gotten Jaylen Brown from the Celtics for Bradley Beal if you wanted to. If you didn't have, what was that shrug, Hank?
I don't.
Celtics aren't that dumb.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
You could have gotten at least a talented player, a very talented player for Bradley Beal if you had managed his contract right instead of giving him a no trade clause and then all of a sudden you have to take what he wants to do. So the Wizards fucked this up so they fucked up the last 10 years of their franchise. I'm very hopeful that with the new GM that they're going to try to figure out how to run a basketball team correctly. I'm not going to hold my breath, but this has been a masterclass in how not to deal with superstars.
In the Wizards' defense, though, I will say, doesn't really matter if you fuck up an NBA franchise, it can still 10x your money.
That makes you the GOAT.
That's what I'm saying. Michael Jordan.
Yeah. Michael
didn't do
Jordan
shit for the Hornets and sold for 10 times as much as he bought
Michael
it for.
Jordan.
So I don't think the owners are too worried about the product on the court.
Michael Jordan, one of the greatest investors of all time. What did he buy the Hornets for? Like $200 million, and he sold for $3 billion.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't really win. What?
$275 for $3 billion.
And he won nothing. That's called being the GOAT. He's not only the GOAT basketball player. It might be who's better, Warren Buffett or Michael Jordan? The debate should start.
Snyder.
10x.
Snyder.
That was just 13 years.
13 years is insane. One last thing with the Suns. I kind of like Matt Ishbia, the new Suns owner. I like his vibe because he's got very reminiscent of like myself on like day one of March Madness, where I'm like, I'm just going to throw all my money out there and just hope it comes back with like wins and just be like, spread it all out. Like, or not spread it all out, but like, I don't care. I like this new excitement of like, oh my God, this is such a fun thing. Like,
there's no way all of these bets lose.
Yeah, right. He's Kevin Durant. Here's all this money. DeAndre Ayton already had all that money. But Bradley Beal, now you have all this money. Devin Booker, all this money. Like, it will work out. Like, it's just like, and you know he's gonna wake up in like a year or two and be like, wait, fuck, this probably isn't the smartest strategy. But I don't blame him because I think I'd do the exact same thing if I ever owned a team. Where I'd just be like, give me all the high price guys, and I'll figure out the rest later.
Yeah, that's a fun way to run a team.
Yeah.
Give me the guy. I want a team with at least 4 guys' names that I know right off the bat. I want some marquee. I want some marquee titles. I want to have. I want to sell tickets too. They're going to sell tickets. They're going to be talked about. They're going to be as far as like the national conversation of the NBA. People are going to be talking about the Suns like they are going to be favored to win the title. But I don't see how they compete with the Nuggets.
I basically would grade every trade if I was an owner. Can you make a graphic with 3 or 4 players being like, who's stopping them on Twitter?
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, it doesn't have to be, because people did that graphic and they're like, who's stopping them? And everyone's like, plenty of teams because they're not that. But you can at least throw that out there. Like, look at them. Big 3. Who's stopping these guys?
Yeah.
Trade
I wonder what's going to happen with Chris Paul now because he's probably actually not going to play for the Wizards. I don't want to say that officially, but I saw the report is that he's going to be traded to the Clippers. He wants to. It's coming home. They're gonna have a big reunion for him. That would actually be a fun team to watch. I feel like
Well, yeah. I was gonna say the Clippers are a joke. They'll always be a joke. They just are. Like, and I don't mean that. Like, I love Steve Ballmer. I like the idea of Kawhi Leonard. I think Paul George has gotten shit on so much he's actually underrated. But like as a franchise and how they're run, it's like they always kind of like fall into bad things.
New stadium though.
New stadium, probably haunted
And like
in some way. All right, Ja Morant got suspended 25 games.
Yeah, I thought it'd be longer.
The video that he released, or I think TMZ had it, but I guess he maybe had used it as defense of him lighting a candle with a fake gun, being like, it's been a fake gun all this time. It's just been a really cool lighter. Mm-hmm. Not the worst defense. I kind of like the ingenuity of it. I think if I was Adam Silver, I'd have been like, you know what? Fair's fair. That's a cool lighter, dude. You're right. 10 games.
Yeah, no, it is embarrassing that he had a gun that could be mistaken for a lighter. Like right. if that was actually a gun and he's saying that it was a lighter, he's actually owning himself on that because you can't talk shit about your own gun that way.
It's also just funny the idea of Ja Morant's house just being full of regular household items all shaped like guns.
Yeah,
like his toilet's a gun. His like like his oven's a gun shape. His pool's gun shape.
Soap
like everything's just guns. Yeah,
his
soap,
his knives in the kitchen are all guns.
His fucking huge sofa is a gun shape. Like his TVs are put in a gun shape. His pool table has a gun logo on it. I kind of like if he could just make that like quick change and be like, Adam Silver, look, I don't own guns. I just love the shape of guns. I think he would have had a better chance.
He should come out with a shoe that's just looks like a gun.
Yeah.
People would buy that shit. That'd be hot.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Billy? You had something with Ja Morant?
I kind of get why he's flashing a gun on Instagram Live. I kind of get it.
Okay.
Because
why?
he doesn't, because his location is revealed. He wants anyone watching his Instagram Live to know that he's strapped. It's
the
a
ops.
safety thing.
You're talking about the ops.
Does your Instagram Live always have location?
No, but like you can just tell from the background.
Yeah, but Billy, okay,
in a car?
Counterpoint, what if he just didn't go live on Instagram? Then people wouldn't know where he was.
Well, remember the video we're talking about, it's not his Instagram Live, it's someone else's, so someone knows where he is.
Wait, so you think that he was like, oh shit, my friend's going on Instagram Live, better take my gun out so if anyone comes and tries us.
Exactly.
Okay.
Just lets everyone know he's not lacking because
here's what I'll say. Take I hadn't heard yet.
It may be a bad take. It may be a bad take. But
It doesn't matter.
But who knows?
If you drop a take I'd never heard, you still have to tip your cap and be like, hadn't heard that yet.
like if I was on Instagram Live and like people knew where I was, I might feel a little vulnerable.
Well, right
So
now
what
you're
would
in
you
the
do?
studio in New York, and you're lacking. You don't have a gun.
Exactly. So I have an axe.
How much cash do you have on you?
No
do you-
cash. No
No,
cash.
He's scared.
And
of cash.
do you think Ja Morant's like got that type of heat on him that people want to go and go after him?
He might.
Because like people they know where he is every day when he goes to games and practices.
It's a scary world being famous.
Okay.
Do you think that Ja Morant has ever carried a gun during a game? Like it's strapped
Maybe in the
into
lo-
his like
maybe in the
compression
locker room.
shorts.
I
Maybe
would say
in the locker room.
maybe when injured, like when
Yeah.
LeBron was drinking wine on the
Yeah.
the bench. Yeah.
Or if Shannon Sharp's showing up to a game, just keep it underneath your shooting sleeve.
Either way, I hope Ja can stop flashing guns.
Well,
Again,
it's been,
I'd still-
like, credit where credit's due, Big Cat. It's been I think 2.5 months since Ja has shown a gun on Instagram.
And I can't stress it enough. If I'm the Grizzlies, like just do a like Friday happy hour. Close off the doors. No videos. Everyone shows off their guns to each other. It's that simple. Let him get it out of his system. Just let him do it, and then you just move on next week. Bring in the new gun. Show us that. It's clear that that's like just let him have an outlet for showing his gun.
Or what he should do is he should take all of his guns and just paint little orange circles at the end of the muzzle, so they all look like toy guns, because that's how you can tell if it's a toy. If it's got that thing that clearly marks, hey, this is not a real live gun that's shooting bullets, he should just do that to all of his guns. That way he can just always say that they're toy guns.
I agree. Good. Another good idea. Okay. Should we do some Who's Back of the Week?
Let's do it.
Who's Back of the Week's brought to you by our friends at the Farmer's Dog. Whether you have a few weeks old puppy or a senior who's seen multiple decades, any dog person like me knows the most valuable thing in the world is spending time with your pet. The Farmer's Dog can help to keep them healthy, which can give you more quality years with them. The Farmer's Dog makes and delivers fresh, healthy dog food. It's recommended by vets, nutritionally balanced, and made from human-grade ingredients in safe, clean kitchens. It's the best option for dogs at all life stages because it's not kibble, it's not canned goo, it's just real food. Stella eats her Farmer's Dog. She's been doing it for like 4 or 5 years. Well before Farmer's Dog became a sponsor, I found it online, and she absolutely loves it. I love it too because it's so easy. Just comes in a box every couple weeks. Put it in the freezer, defrost, ready to go. Fresh diet for Stella. It's made her coat softer, made her healthier. So a fresh diet has been found to have all sorts of benefits, from healthier coat and skin to better breath, even easier digestion, and smaller, better poops. A healthy diet isn't just important for humans. So get 50% off your first box at thefarmersdog.com/PMT. 50% off your first box at thefarmersdog.com/PMT. It's thefarmersdog.com/PMT. I am giving you a Big Cat and Stella guarantee. Thefarmersdog.com/PMT. You will not regret it. Great food. Your puppy, your dog will be so happy. Farmer's Dog does it right. They're great people. Okay, who's back of the week, Hank?
My Who's Back of the Week is David Freese.
Oh, yeah.
2011 World Series MVP, clutch player that whole postseason. St. Louis Cardinals got voted into the Cardinals Hall of Fame and denied it. Denied entry into the Hall of Fame, said he hadn't earned it, that he knew it was kind of a weird decision, that he was going to wear it. Really made no sense to me. I feel like if you're a World Series MVP, you've earned the Hall of Fame.
It's the most Cardinals story ever. This actually proves that he should be in the Cardinals Ring of Fame for denying his own entry into it because he feels like he doesn't deserve to be mentioned in the same breath as those other old Cardinals players. That's the most Cardinals story that you could ever draw up.
There's plenty of other Cardinals players that aren't World Series MVPs in the Cardinals Hall of Fame, so
Well,
that to me is like a 1-1. You're automatically drafted into the Hall of Fame Any World
No
Series
one-
MVP.
No one would ever have known about this story until he did this.
Yeah.
Right.
So he's actually a piece of shit.
Right.
He
But
is.
it's the most,
He's a
but
piece
it's
of
the
shit.
most Cardinals thing ever to get a lot of
Correct.
attention to yourself for raising your hand and being like, look what a team guy I am. Look how humble I am. Everybody give me credit for being the most humble individual ever. Also, I just love the phrase like, I'll wear this one. He's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll wear it. You know what? I'm gonna wear doing a great thing.
Yeah. It is the most Cardinals thing ever, though. And yes, they'll probably like force him in. They'll probably put him in anyway, and he'll look like a good guy. He's a piece of shit.
He should be in.
No, he shouldn't.
Any World Series MVP for any baseball team should be in that baseball team's Hall of Fame.
I think he got a DUI, and we don't stand with that. And also, we're going to miss Bob Huggins.
That's that's also the most Cardinals thing ever. Like
Also,
play
we're
the
going to
game
really
the right
miss
way.
Bob Huggins, and we love
Sprinted
Huggy
down
Bear.
to first base every time you got to walk and got a DUI. That's the St. Louis hat trick.
Yes, I might. Jake, please fact check me so I didn't. Oh, I don't give a fuck. I hate
In
him.
November 2002, arrested for DUI.
So there you go. Again, we don't
Also
stand
in
for drinking and
December
driving.
2009.
So double.
And then MVP 2 years later.
DWI,
Okay.
Jake.
Yeah. So 2
I guess
DUIs.
Wikipedia is wrong.
No, DWI. Could have just been,
Wikipedia says 2
puffing on
DUIs. but it
Zooties.
could be
2
wrong.
DUIs. Huggy, he also has 2, but that's besides the point.
He has 2? Meme, speak.
Oh yeah.
I think that's the same thing.
Just 1 or 2?
Yeah, I think they just changed it like a few times.
Driving under
gonna
the
miss
influence
Huggy
and
Bear.
driving while intoxicated. I think those are pretty much. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm pretty sure that you shouldn't. do
Either way,
one of them.
2 incidents.
By the way, I'm as an aside, I'm gonna miss Huggy Bear. I know he had to go. That was bad. .21 is bad. We do not think DUIs are funny, but you can separate the fact that he fucked up and also be like, he's a legendary coach that makes the sport better, and it sucks that it ended this way.
Wait,
0.21.
.21
I didn't
is
realize
in
it was a .21.
Yeah, dude, he was in Pittsburgh. He thought he was in Columbus.
like 3 times .08.
.21. Not
3
good.
times
Hey,
.08.
look, it's not good.
No,
I
Billy,
wish Huggy
less.
had gotten a driver.
Less.
I wish he had gotten a driver. Bad. DUIs are bad. They actually are like one of those things that it's not, there's no jokes. It's like lucky no one got killed. Like very lucky. Very, very bad. In this day and age, get a fucking Uber. It's so goddamn easy. Don't put yourself at risk. Don't put other people at risk. Bad, bad, bad. Huggy should have, the minute I saw it, I was like, there's no way he's going to survive this. And with all that said, I'm going to miss him. And I think that's fair to say. I'm going to miss
That's
him.
12. That's 12 beers in an hour.
Yeah, Billy, we know. Look, I mean, what was David Freese's? Probably worse.
I was gonna say Huggy might get inducted into the Cardinals Ring of Honor.
The being in Pittsburgh and thinking you're in Columbus is tough.
It's not good. Don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, PFT.
Good who's back, Hank.
Thanks.
Good news
My
back.
who's back of the week is United States soccer. U.S. soccer's back, baby. Hank, try to show some fucking patriotism for once. We just dominated the CONCACAF Nations League. Some say it's a more challenging tournament than the World Cup. We just won it for the second time in a row. Our new striker, Balogun, he scored. We had Claudio Reyna's kid, Gio, out there lighting it up, dicing up the defense. And then also we brought back Greg Berhalter, the coach from the last team. So
How'd that work out?
Well, we tied the fuck out of Great Britain or England over in
fired
Qatar.
him?
You remember that? Then we let him go because you reset after every World Cup. That's when his contract was up. The funny part about this was we hired a search firm. The U.S. Soccer Federation hired a search firm, and then they spent probably $800,000 traveling around the world, and then they just rehired the same guy that used to be the team. So what I learned from this is that we have to get into the search firm business, whether it's college football, whether it's international soccer. Running a search firm is the best gig of all time. You get driven around all the major metropolitan cities. You just fly into an airport, get picked up in a town car, taken to a meeting, town car again, back to the airport. Then you fly to a nice 5-star hotel. Then you go home, and you get paid a fuckload of money to do it. And it seems like the best gig of all time.
Dude, remember when like I think Bill Polian had it a few times, Ernie Accorsi, all those guys who they just hire and then they would pay him like $1 million and they just hire their friend after doing like 6 interviews.
Yeah, or sometimes it's like, here's $1 million, go stay in LA for a week, go stay in New York, go fly over to London, come back, and then hire like your nephew. Somebody that you're actually related to.
It's also like, I used to think it was like crazy. Why would you do this? But it's also genius on the team hiring the search firm, because essentially saying, we know this is a really important decision, and if it goes south, we want someone to be able to blame. Because if you hire someone and it fucks up, then you're like, well, that was my fault. I'm a fucking idiot. If you hire someone who then hires someone, you can be mad at the person you hired to hire the person, and then you never have to take blame.
Yeah, it's really, really smart. And it also insulates you from like any sort of legal obligation that you might have. If you don't uncover something about the person's past or whatever, then you could get sued. But if you hire somebody whose job it is to do that for you, then they're like, these guys did a bad job. Don't ask me who hired those guys to run the search firm, but they're the ones that you should be mad at, not me. But yeah, Greg Berhalter's back. He sucks. I am upset about that. But right now, boys are humming. Just beat Mexico. Trey Cicero beat Canada in the championship. Got another chip, another ring for the boys in blue. We're rolling right now. This is the golden generation. We've got a great young team. I know Hank's rolling his eyes because he's a hater and doesn't like America, but that's fine. We got a great team. Next World Cup, it's our year.
We've had this discussion, PFT. Next World Cup, if they don't get to like at least the Elite Eight.
Yeah,
I'm sick of it.
That's it.
You know how
they need to get. They need to get to the quarterfinals. If they don't, then it's a failure.
Yeah.
You know how beat it is showing up to a bar at 9 a.m. to watch America play and them get blown out by the Dutch? Like, can't happen again.
Damn.
How beat is it? Tell me how beat it is.
Beat as fuck.
It's so beat.
It is.
Yeah, I know. Because I'm seeing it. Like, I see your face. It was beat. All right.
Billy's never going to recover from that loss to the Dutch. Billy's
you know
never going to go to a bar
is?
at 9 a.m. ever again.
All right, my who's back is the Bears, the Chicago Bears. I don't know if you guys saw this. Jordan Love posted a video today. I don't know if it was he took it or someone else took it, but he had a video where he said, "Happy Father's Day to all Bears fans out there." Jordan Love is a fucking moron. So Jordan Love basically called Bears fans his dad, and it was like the first moment that I've had in a very long time where I was like, ooh, I think things might be changing. Because Jordan Love was trying to do an Aaron Rodgers, like, I own you, I'm your daddy, and he couldn't have bungled it worse. He couldn't have fucked it up worse. He's a moron, and it's the first glimmer of hope where I'm like, things are changing. This guy thinks he's that guy, but he ain't that guy, pal. And the Packers are in trouble. Like, what an embarrassment. And then Bleacher Report even, because everyone's so used to the Packers kicking the shit out of the Bears and the Bears being the punchline on the internet all the time. Bleacher Report released it being like, damn, Jordan Love didn't hold back. And it was like, what? Did you watch the video? He literally called us his dad. We are his father.
Yeah, what's sad about this is you're right. He thinks that he is Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
That's the only explanation. Like I'm actually with you on this one, Big Cat.
Yes.
I would like to be, put on my giant cheesehead Packers ownership hat and be like, no, you're misunderstanding this. That's bad what he did, because even what he was going for was calling you his son, which he has not done anything to make the Bears his son.
He's never played the Bears
at this point.
Right.
Never played the Bears. He's just taking Aaron Rodgers and he's basically saying, I'm Aaron Rodgers now. Congratulations to me. You can't do that. I have a big update that just came through from memes here. Freeze's BAC.
Okay.
Oh,
What?
all right. Breaking news.
Breaking
Breaking
news.
news.
That was fine.
Do it.
Big
No,
update.
breaking news.
It's a big update. No, big update.
Breaking news.
I'm Hank. I'm a salty B word.
Wait, Hank, you're so salty. It feels like there's some tension between you and PFT. Like
There's no-
you guys
no.
played golf yesterday.
We were on the same team.
Okay. Breaking news.
No tension. No tension whatsoever. David Freese, BAC .232.
Oh shit.
That's
Damn.
fucking hammered.
That's so drunk. By the way,
What the fuck?
that was a great lifetime stat that someone had that we missed. BAC and the date and like what happened of your lifetime stats would be incredible to look at.
.244 went out and then lost the Super Bowl the next day. .257 woke up in my girlfriend's roommate's bed. Hypothetically.
Point 2 got kissed by my best bro at the bar.
Those parties, Max can't hear you. He just Big Cat had a good one.
It was a good one, Max.
Totally sober.
Anything happened to you this weekend, Max? Anything on film?
Then we'll talk about it Wednesday or Friday.
Derek
Or
Henry,
unless he wants to
Henry
talk about it
Lockwood
right now.
here?
Max wants nothing to do with talking about
All right.
this. We can wait.
We'll
get him to open up.
wait till we're on first.
Yeah.
Let him gather.
we'll
his
do
thoughts.
We'll do a film breakdown.
If you don't want to know what you're talking about, if you're listening and you might not understand, I will post the video again on my Twitter and
I'll
Instagram
retweet it.
story in the morning, just so people have
For the show.
context.
Yeah, for the show.
Yeah, for the show. I'll retweet it. But yes, we will talk. We'll all be together on Tuesday, so we will break it down then. Either way, my who's back is the Bears because Jordan Love, you're a clown. Like it really was. Aaron Rodgers did own me. He was my daddy. He like any shit he talked, he could do it because I was like, there's nothing I can say. This guy can't even get the simplest joke right. What a moron.
Mm-hmm. The first game, it's reminiscent of the 2004 Yankees Red Sox when Martinez called the Yankees his daddy, and then the chants when he was pitching were all time like the "Who's your daddy?" Like that will be electric in Chicago the first time that happens.
If the Bears beat the Packers week 1, that clip is going to be. I mean, I'll just tweet it every single day. Like I don't know how you could be that dumb. It makes me think he won't learn to play. So I'm excited.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Real quick, Hank, since we're talking about Aaron Rodgers, I want to get your comment on the story that broke, I think it was last Thursday, maybe last Friday, regarding your Patriots, that the Patriots tried to trade for Aaron Rodgers this offseason. First of all, I thought that you loved Mac Jones. Second of all, Aaron Rodgers rejected the trade. He didn't want to play for, I guess he didn't want to do a two quarterback system with him and Bill Belichick at the same time playing quarterback. But I'm just curious to know from your perspective.
Is this a Florio report?
I thought you were all in on Mac Jones. It might be. It might.
Yeah,
it might
no,
have been
I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm assuming that your dad just webbed up a nice web of tall tales and
webbed
fun
up
facts.
a web.
He whipped
You
up a
webbed
web.
it up. Yeah. Okay, Billy.
My who's back of the week is Diamondback Terrapins. So it was Father's
Did they
Day.
ever go away?
No, they were breeding. They went
away for a little bit in like the early 2000s.
They were endangered back then. So I was my dad wanted to go to the beach, so we were at the beach. It's Father's Day. I was driving on a road and I noticed there was a bunch of turtles crossing the road. Probably to nest. They were probably females looking to lay eggs. So I pulled over the car and I was picking up turtles that were trying to cross the road. And I realized there was a lot of them, and I was ending up stopping traffic. And I was picking them all up, putting them in a bucket in the back seat that I had. And what ended up happening was
to do what with them?
No, because I was going to deposit them on the other side of the road, but the thing was there were so many.
What is deposit? Do you mean just like pick up and then put down again?
Yeah, but there was
that's
so many of them. Anyway, the cops. I literally almost got arrested. The cops pulled up on me picking up these turtles, and my dad was being like, "What the fuck are you doing?" No, my dad was like, "What the fuck are you doing? Like, just like keep driving." He doesn't get it. So what's funny?
He get?
He doesn't get that I'm stopping the car trying to pick up turtles to make sure they get to their nesting point. Anyway,
But he is your son's, or he is your father, so he should get a lot of this.
No, he still doesn't get it, 16 years later. So the cops pull up to me and they're like, "What are you doing? Why do you have 15 turtles in the back of your car, native turtles? This is technically a felony if you're collecting these for whatever reason." And I was like, look, I'm just trying to put them back on the other side of the road so they don't get run over. I know they're in danger. Like, yeah, you're collecting an endangered species. It was, in the end, we put them on the other side of the road and I didn't get arrested. But it was a little touch and go because the cops were pretty pissed that I was collecting turtles.
I think you are Chiefsaholic, man. I really do.
It also sounds like you definitely were collecting them and got caught.
Yeah.
I was going to put them to
Deposit.
their breeding grounds. I was going to put them on the other side of the road. But
And you got breeding grounds in your backyard.
hey.
Also,
You know.
were you going to, like, one of them happen to stay in your truck?
Look, whatever got put out. Maybe some ended up in my truck. There's no worries about that. No one knows.
Okay.
How much is one of these? What are
They go for
Diamondback
about
Terrapins?
15. They go for about 1,500 on the free market.
Just one, and you found
Diamondback
20?
terrapins. They're very endangered. They're very
You
beautiful.
definitely kept some.
No, I didn't.
Well, he was going to.
I don't know what you're talking about.
1,500? Yeah.
The
You
cops
immediately,
came.
right off the top of
No,
your
no,
head
no.
how much it
Yeah.
costs.
No. Let's just the cops came and I put the turtles back.
Maybe
if
you
we
give
have
the
a
cops
couple.
one, you take one, put 8 back.
Look, I may have bribed a cop with a turtle, but I don't think that's for public consumption. Hey,
It'd be a real
Jesus
shame if one of these
Christ, Billy, I
Diamondback
don't even know
Terrapins
what-
fell off the back of this truck.
I don't even know what to I don't even know what to say. I mean, it was
Just-
clear you were trying to steal some terrapin turtles for money and you got caught.
no, look, they're very expensive turtles, and
Right.
because
They're an endangered species, Billy.
They're very endangered. We don't have to talk about it. We
Because
can
of
go
the
on
black
to the
market
next-
find
traders
them.
like you.
No, look. I made sure they didn't get run over. There was a couple run over on the road. Running over a turtle is the most demoralizing thing ever because you hear the pop of the shell. We don't have to talk about that. Jake,
money
what's your
wasted.
who's back of the week?
Wait, there was multiple dead ones on the road?
Yeah, they were. It was carnage. It was terrible. So I started pulling over and picking them all up. Then the cops came and they were asking me what I was doing. I was like, "Hey, I'm trying to get these turtles to safety."
Definitely not selling these.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm not selling these turtles for $1,500 a pop.
Look. I had about like 10 grand worth of turtles in the back of my truck.
Yeah, Bill, you're finding like runaway juveniles
You-
and you're putting them into your car and driving away with them so that they can breed. You're basically Jeffrey Epstein.
No. Well, like, listen to this. Like, if you have like 18K worth of turtles in the back of your truck, like in China they sell for like probably 2,500 each. Like, it's you're riding a little high at that point. But anyway, Jake, what's your who's back of the week?
My who's back is the College World Series. It was an exciting opening weekend in Omaha. We had a walk-off in the top of the 9th inning. We had some Cinderella with Oral Roberts, and we have Frank the Tank meeting Peyton Manning. So a lot of storylines.
Wait. Hold on. Jake, that's funny. You mentioned the Oral Roberts TCU game. Did you want to say anything about the call?
Yeah, I said we had a walk-off in the top of the 9th.
Okay, all right, but maybe let's put this guy to task. Let's, like, well,
Yeah,
we're just going to
Carl Ravitch, I figured we would expand. Carl Ravitch, let me read his statement. So for those
he
unaware,
released a statement?
Statement about what?
he tweeted about, like, Andrew Martian said, tough look for him. And then
Can you
said,
redo the call for the listeners that didn't hear it?
Yeah, and this one is hit into left field. Did he get it? Yes, sir. Walk off. 9-hitter. Oral Roberts rallies and wins it. Top of the 9th.
Top of the 9th.
Yeah.
Brutal.
So Carl Ravitch's statement, it was all on me. Come back and do it again tomorrow. My
I
bad.
wanted this one.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Listen, he's at a point in his career where he can get away with something like that. Like,
Kenny?
Can you ever?
clearly, there's on to tomorrow for him. A lot of people not on to tomorrow. I hope to get to that level one day.
I don't know, man.
When you say we're on to tomorrow, he just basically rehired himself. He's like, I'm not getting fired because I'm already on to tomorrow.
I couldn't watch any of the college baseball the rest of the weekend because I was like, how can I trust these guys? Sad.
Yeah, Chris
Yeah.
came into the room. He's like, "Daddy, I thought that there was a bottom of the ninth inning. What's Mr. Ravitch telling me on television?" I didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
It was so bad because we do like Carl Ravitch, but man, it was the double down that killed him when he was like, he was like, yeah, it was a walk off, like yeah, and then he realized that he was wrong. That was it. It was tough. It was bad luck.
Thank God they won that game, because if they blew it,
Yeah,
Yeah.
big time. Okay, we got some awesome stuff. We got Sean Evans, and then we have Mt Rushmore guys not to fuck with, presented by the Barstool Sportsbook. Sean Evans' interview was one of my favorites we've ever done. So let's do that. PFT, you got a quick sponsor before we get to that?
Yes, before we get to Sean Evans, he's brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in an accident, Morgan & Morgan makes it easy for you. You file a claim online, you upload pictures, that's your evidence, you text your lawyer, you get a settlement direct deposited. Do almost everything from your phone. Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. Over 800 lawyers nationwide, over $15 billion recovered so far, over 100 offices, over 30 years of experience. The fee is free. You only pay if you win. Visit forthepeople.com/PMT or dial #law, #law to start a claim. Go to forthepeople.com/PMT. Sean Evans is also brought to you by our good friends at Coors Light. Everyone thinks about the day that they'll eventually get to retire and enjoy all the freedom that comes with it. But who says we have to wait decades before we get to kick back and chill out? Take advantage of that free will, spend the summer chilling like a retiree, and pair those moments with Coors Light, the beer that's made to chill. We were out on the golf course the other day, Hank and I, as teammates, swinging as one out there, drinking some ice-cold Coors Light, some swing juice, as Patrick Mahomes would call it. Had a great time. Nothing better than going out with your boys, not even keeping track of who's winning between the two of you, and drinking Coors Light out there on the golf course while you're knocking them straight, just having a good bonding moment with the boys. Coors Light is perfect for all your summer plans, or lack thereof. There's no judgment here. The mountains on the bottles and cans, they turn blue when your beer is cold. It was about 102 degrees in Austin when we were playing. Didn't matter. No excuses. We both played great. We were drinking ice-cold Coors Lights. The mountains were so blue. We love Coors Light. This summer, chill like you're retired with Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door with Drizzly or Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/take. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. And now, here's Sean Evans.
Okay, we now welcome on very, very, very special guest. You get 3 verys.
Wow.
It is Sean Evans. You know him from Hot Ones, friend of PFT and myself. Finally on the show.
Long overdue.
Long overdue. Let's start here. What do you think of the studio? Because you're probably like one of the last interviews we're going to do in the studio. We cleaned up for you.
It looks like it might be on its last legs, but I shouldn't talk because we have kind of an embarrassing studio sometimes that, like, when we bring guests to it, it's like a little bit of a chicken coop. This does translate better to video than it does in person.
Okay,
it
that's a nice compliment.
That's where I'd put this one at.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because your studio, you play it smart. It's like just very clean and minimal when you see it on TV.
Yeah.
So when you see it on YouTube, but when you look behind the scenes, I'm sure that's a shock. We put all of our dirty laundry out, so people when they come in, they might be pleasantly surprised that there's not actually, like, I don't know, animals living around here.
But I like it because it's honest. You know
Right.
what I mean? It's an honest set, you know?
Yeah.
So in that way, it's kind of comfortable, and I feel good about it.
That actually, like one of the great things about your show, and I don't know, you can tell me if it was intentional or not. I always think that when people try to do internet shows that look like TV shows, they fail.
Yeah,
because
right.
the internet, there should be a little bit more. There shouldn't be as much of a barrier between you and the
Right,
audience,
right.
like a big ESPN SportsCenter set. So when you guys were designing your show, was that a thought? Being like, hey, we don't need to make it like big green screens and shit.
Yeah, no, it was just an unintended consequence, really. Like, we were just broke, so we just had to do something with the least amount of money as possible, and then that solution is just like hanging black curtains from the ceiling. But it ended up being like the best thing that we did because the show travels now, and that's how
Right.
we kind of punch above our weight class with guests, is because we can just pop up wherever. So it was like one of the great gifts. And I always think, like, even if they gave us a bigger budget, I don't even know how we'd spend it. You know, like, even if it came in, I don't think doing those kinds of improvements do anything for the show. If anything, I think it, like, undermines or undercuts it.
Yeah.
Like velvet black curtains, you upgrade the material, the shit that's hanging
Maybe,
down.
I mean, we could do better with shapes and materials, you know, as we go on. Yeah, I like that. I like that idea.
But it sounds similar to, I mean, you know, the start of this show, we were doing it on Zoom and Skype, and a lot of it is like watching people watch from day one, where it's not like this big production day one right out of the gate, because then you can always get bigger. You can always grow.
You can always get to this point.
Right. But if you start at that point, people are going to expect things from you. That's like when we had a show for one day, as you know. We're like, we don't want a big we couldn't afford a big studio, but we wanted it specifically to look like shit.
Yeah.
So people weren't expecting it to be some, like, you know, beautiful cinematography.
People root for an underdog, and I
Yeah.
think that works for the sets. I think it works for the shows.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are there any Hot Ones truthers out there? I was thinking about becoming a
interesting.
truther that says, like, the sauce
Yeah,
actually
yeah, yeah.
isn't that hot. They're acting.
So, okay, well, I like that idea. And here's what I would say is, at this point, you know, we've had hundreds and hundreds of guests. If that were the case, you know, we don't have anyone sign an NDA or anything. Like, you'd think that would leak out. And then the thing with me, you know, I'm a chicken wing talk show host of the highest dignity. You know, if people switch boards with me, I'll switch boards with them. You know, like, I go through that whole thing exactly with the guests.
Little like Princess Bride.
Yeah, so I feel like we're fully buttoned up. Like, a truther doesn't have an inch to breathe with this show, I don't think, you know?
Right.
But I guess that could be a challenge for you, PFT.
People get bored.
Yeah, I think like, if you don't have truthers, there's still room for the show to grow.
Yeah, right.
That's like the last frontier that you can conquer, when there are people that are psycho enough out there to actually think that. Are there haters? Do you have any haters? It seems like you're the most likable person on the internet.
Thank you. Well, I'd say the same for you guys. I don't know. I guess it would be, I bet we probably get the same thing, because we've both been going on for about the same length of time, where, like, the thing that I'd get would be, you guys have changed. Like, as, like, people have gotten more famous or whatever, it's like, the show's not like what it used to be. Like, that sort of thing I kind of get.
Yeah.
But I'm also not, like, super, I don't really, like, check on it or, like, see it that much. I guess everybody kind of sees their own shit, but that's the thing that probably I get the most, is, like, the show's changed or whatever. But I always think that's weird, because I feel like the show just hasn't changed at all. Like, it's just, like, the same set. It's, hey, what's going on, everybody? It's this camera, that camera, whatever. So it's, like, the exact same show. I actually think the better criticism is that we haven't changed enough, but that's probably, like, the most common one.
Right.
Yeah.
And that also, when we get stuff like that, I hear it, or people will say both. They'll be like, oh, you guys have changed. I think we get more like, oh, you guys are still doing the same show. It's like, well, we have fun.
Right.
The sports calendar keeps moving,
Yes.
just like your guests keep changing.
Yes.
And like, I think there's fatigue. Because we're in such a weird time in media where everything is new, there's definitely fatigue for any, like, if you listen to the same podcast over and over every day, eventually you're going to be like, oh, maybe I need to take a break. But then you might come back, and I think a lot of the people come back. So it's like, I never take offense when someone's like, oh, I took a break.
And I think if you do anything for more than 18 months, that starts. Like, people started saying that to me in, like, season 3 of the show.
Right.
And then it, like, keeps, you know what I mean? So then you become kind of desensitized to it, I guess.
Right, and it's also the loudest, like, vocal minority of people. Like, we always have to remind ourselves, like, if people are like, oh, you guys suck now, it's like, what about, like, the hundreds of thousands of people who don't have a Twitter account, who are just listening to us and enjoying us every day? Because those exist.
Right.
Like, people
Plus,
who don't have a YouTube commenter. They're not a YouTube commenter. They're watching it. They watch it. They enjoy it. Then they go on with their life.
Yeah. I guess that's most people. And then I always think, like, you know, it's not like I just burst through your wall like the Kool-Aid man. And I'm like, here's an episode of Hot Ones. You have to click like 3 things in order to get there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you read the YouTube comments?
I like the YouTube comments. You know, like, I'm not jaded by it. I kind of like them. When a new episode comes out, you know, on Thursday night, I'll kind of scroll through it and see what floats to the top there. And sometimes on, like, nice classic episodes, if I'm feeling a little down, it's like a picture of, like, an X I'll look at or something like that. It's like, I'll go back to a classic episode and just kind of, like, marinate in it for a second. So yeah, YouTube comment. I appreciate the YouTube comments.
Yeah.
I love the first guys on YouTube, especially the guys that come in like a week late and
Yeah,
comment first. YouTube comments seem like they're more positive in general than other.
Yeah, that's
than
what I
other
think.
sections.
Or it just feels like connected to the show, which makes sense because it's a discovery platform. So people probably find you early on and then they have a connection to it and grow with it. So I always feel the YouTube comments, it just feels like people who really watch and like the show, I guess.
Yeah.
What so tell me like the backstory of when you first came out, because it is one of those genius ideas that I think a lot of people independently were like, oh, like we should do a show where we put the guest kind of under pressure. You did it first.
Yeah.
What I know some of it, but for our audience, like the idea and the first test of it and being like, oh, I think we have something. What was that moment?
So the moment, so basically what happened was First We Feast was a food blog text, like sort of the intersection of food and pop culture. But, in 2015, everyone's like, we're pivoting to video. Everyone's got to pivot to video. So we had to come up with a video product. We were working in a magazine office similar to this. You'd see celebrities walk in the halls all the time. So we were like, well, maybe a celebrity interview show would be viable, like just for our proximity to it. And then Chris Schoenberger, who's the general manager of First We Feast, he was like, well, we should do a celebrity interview show. Celebrity interview shows are boring. How do we make them not boring? And he was like, well, what if we interviewed celebrities but had them eat increasingly spicy chicken wings over the course of the interview as a way to break them down? And then I was like, dude, you're a fucking genius. So we started hammering out a pilot, and then we shot it with Tony Yayo from G Unit. That was our first ever episode. And then we just kind of never stopped making them, and I recognized pretty early on that it had potential. The first shoot was like Machine Gun Kelly in a red leather jacket doing laps around the studio, swearing up a storm, and it was so insane in the studio. It felt so gonzo and off the wall that I'm like, this is going to translate to video and just be something that people haven't seen before. It was just so, like, I could recognize the hit of it all in that room. But no one gave a shit about the show at first. It was actually like, I used to joke with Chris all the time, I'm eating a lot of really spicy food and no one cares. Like, I don't know how long I can sustain this pace.
Right.
And then our first real breakout episode was the Key and Peele episode, and that was trending and front page of Reddit and all of those sorts of things. And the show was just kind of off from there. There's these like tentpole episodes along the way, but that's more or less kind of how the plane got off the ground.
I'd imagine Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
Like that. I mean, that you became like, everyone uses that GIF all the time.
What's funny though is in that moment, I didn't recognize it as anything.
Yeah.
And then I've talked to Paul Rudd since then, and I remember being like, when you said, look at us, did you? He goes, I'll be honest, I didn't even remember it when I walked out of the room. He's like, people are just yelling, look at us on the street. And then eventually somebody got to him and be like, oh, have you seen this thing? But I didn't even know that would be a thing, and that's broken containment and gotten almost bigger than the show itself.
It's perfect.
It's like a little encapsulated moment, but it was such a small part of that interview because I think it was like 30 minutes long.
Yeah, right.
And it was in the middle of a much bigger like connecting bro moment that you guys had where he was telling you like, you're good at basketball, Sean. You should have been cut from your high school basketball team.
That's right.
And when I watched that for the first time, I was like, Paul Rudd's a sweet guy.
Yeah.
And then everybody, they just zeroed in on that one moment.
Look at us. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you actually feel better after that interview? Did he actually gas you up?
You know what? I do after a lot of the interviews. Counter, to what you might think, they're very positive experiences. And then when you mess with spicy foods, you can get a head high off of them. So it's kind of like you end up in this bizarre, abstract place with the guest where you're just kind of in space. And I've come to enjoy it. As spicy as it is, like the twilight hours of an interview are my favorite parts of the Hot Ones interview.
Has there been a time when like a celebrity comes in and they're doing a press junket, they're advertising for a movie or something, and their publicist has not adequately prepared them and they're not familiar with the show, and they're coming in like trying to give canned answers and battle, because that's really a battle. When you're the genius of the interview format is you can't give canned answers when you're feeling a physical interruption in how your brain works. Has there ever been somebody that tries to keep doing that?
I mean, the early days, I remember I was just talking about this, feeling almost embarrassed by the show, because we would seriously let's say there's a junket, right? And it's at the Beverly Hills Hotel. We would rent a suite and then literally just hang black sheets from a suite. And so whoever, like Charlize Theron, would go to like an elevator downstairs, come up and then walk into this suite with just sheets hanging and the bed pushed up against the wall. And then me just standing there with the hot sauces and just being like, sorry, you know, and like they walk in and the publicist is trying to top line it like while they're walking in. And then she's like looking at you like, are we eating all of this? You know, like that. And we've already started off and I feel it's just a tears of a clown sad situation, you know? So that used to happen kind of all of the time, but I guess what's changed. And so I think now people walk in with a mindset almost like, you know how if you'd walk into a Howard Stern interview, it would be a different mindset. You're like, I'm doing the Howard Stern interview.
He's going to ask me how I fuck.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like that's not an outrageous question from Howard Stern because you know you're doing the Howard Stern interview. I think now a lot of times people come in and then they're ready to do their internet interview of record or whatever. So I feel like they come in ready to melt their face off, ready to kind of bare their soul in a way that's unique and go through this crazy experience and have this career spanning interview. So, but in the beginning, it was always like that. Just I saw publicists deal making and bargaining in real time right in front of me while I just sat there pathetically in front of the hot sauces and the wings.
I would watch a compilation of interviews from those early days of celebrities on the junkets that they had to do an interview right after your interview.
Right.
You see like the lingering heat and trying to deal with like an actual, back to reality interview with like Entertainment Tonight or whatever, and they've got hot sauce all over their face. That would be awesome.
Exactly. Like spit in the mic. But well, sometimes what they'll do, because Fallon, when we were on 50th Street, Fallon was right across the street. So somebody would come in, you know, dressed like they're going to dress on Fallon and then walk right across the street to do Fallon after doing Hot Ones. Now we tell people all the time because we were amazed how often we'd be like a 10 a.m., 11 a.m. interview and then they'd have a full day of press afterwards. But now we just tell people like, we're like a 4 o'clock. You want to do us at the end.
Right, at the very end. Who's your white whale?
Right now, because I just listen to people who yell at me on the street. So forever, Gordon Ramsay was our white whale.
Ooh.
Like, you know, every time we put up an episode, people would be like, where's the Gordon Ramsay episode? Nobody cared about anything that was going on. So it's just an albatross going around my neck. So finally we crossed him off the list. And then I thought the requests would stop. But now Keanu Reeves is like one of the most requested. He said in a recent AMA that he wouldn't do it. But, you know, like these, and then who else is like The Rock still hasn't done it. That's like an often requested one.
Yeah.
So I guess you just I try to work through white whales just so people stop yelling them at me in airports, basically.
Yeah.
What about you should get like a child star on. Like a 9-year-old just burned their face off.
Little Tay.
Little Tay.
Yeah.
Nice
Tay.
callback.
Yeah.
Nice callback.
Yeah. I saw you wanted to have Howard Stern on.
Yeah. Well, Howard Stern, David Letterman, Adam Carolla, and Jimmy Kimmel were probably the formative, most influential broadcasters for me growing up.
So if you did have Howard Stern on, would you like at the spiciest wing, you'd be like, are you a sellout?
Well, he would never do the show. He would never in a million years do Hot Ones.
Which sucks.
But and then when you say yeah, he would probably say like, yeah, right?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think he'd probably try to explain away his sellout.
Yeah.
Because he has sold out.
You should do like a swap with him. Be like, I'll go on your show and ride the Sibian. If you come on
ride
Hot
the
Ones
Sibian and take on the wings. Actually,
take on the wings,
that feels
fair trade.
You know, fair currency exchange. Right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. What can you say who your worst one was?
Yeah, I think, you know, I wish I had like just a good podcast anecdote for like the worst one. And it's usually a very positive experience. But the one, because I think with interviews, they're like movies, you know, if they're bad enough, they're awesome.
Oh,
you
definitely.
know, like the worst ones can be better than the best ones.
Yep.
And I think a good example of that is we had DJ Khaled come in super early and then he tapped out on the third wing, like completely rejected the format of the show, like before it even started.
That guy doesn't need anything.
Yeah.
And well, you know what? I remember a memory that I have of that is like walking into the studio, and before we laid down the wings or anything, he was already eating pizza. And I remember being like, dude, we're about to eat these wings. He's like, I'll be fine. You know, and then he was just eating like one of those New York $2 like massive greasy slices. So maybe that was the problem all along. But that's like a good, so bad it's good kind of Hot Ones episode.
We've actually toyed with the idea, because it is tough, because you don't want to bash a guest, because then you got to, you're getting future guests, but we've toyed with the idea of running a worst of, which would be like, no one does worst ofs, where it's
Yeah,
like all
right.
of our bad interviews just in one like episode.
That sounds good.
But then you bring up the idea of like people would,
Oh,
bash
be like,
those
why am
people.
I on the worst?
Yeah,
of?
right.
Right.
Although
There are a couple that would probably expect
one would
that.
sue, and then the other, like Dan Marino doesn't have Twitter. You would know.
Yeah. So Sean, from your perspective, because you are an AWL,
Yeah.
what's the worst thing about Part of My Take, and what are our worst moments?
All right. Well, here's a criticism I have, but it's of all podcasts that are all sports podcasts, and I understand it. But listeners probably need it. But it'll be like March, and we're talking about the NFL for like the first 30 minutes of the show. The football. Like I'm with seasons. You know what I mean? So sometimes
I think we actually have. I think we
recently-
used to do that
Yeah,
worse.
yeah.
We used
I
to
think
be
so
worse
too.
at that.
You're right.
We
You're
had a
right.
moment. It was actually Mike Singletary, legendary Bear. We interviewed him at the Super Bowl, and we ran it in like March, and people were like, "What? Like why?" And we're like, you know what? We got to do a better job, because I actually think that like one thing I love about this show is that we do talk all sports. But yeah, you're right. There are some times when football will dominate.
But
off season.
Can I gas you? Can I say the things I like?
Yeah.
Can I say the things I like? Well, you two seem to genuinely like each other.
We do.
You know what I mean? And I know that you genuinely like each other. And kudos to you for making that work, especially in this day and age. Like I can't imagine if I had a Siamese twin with me through this whole thing and making sure that relationship or whatever. So I think there's that, but then it's also just the ensemble cast here.
Yes.
It's you guys play a great role as well, because then I can feel like when I'm listening to the show that I'm just with my friends sitting here talking about sports. You know what I mean? You have like that side of it. And then Grit Week is amazing. The bets are amazing. Sorry, Max, they don't seem to go your way, but you're a good sacrificial lamb for the whole thing. It's from an AWL perspective, it's really interesting.
He's a great loser.
The great
he really
loser.
is.
One of
it's
the
like
greats.
that's what
One of the greats.
what Checo said that about Max Verstappen, right?
Yeah.
You're a great loser, Max.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
You're the best.
You are, and you
You're the
are
number
a
one
loser.
Yeah, yeah,
You're
yeah,
a loser.
Hell
loser.
yeah. Massive
That's actually
loser
like
here.
it's kind of analogous to the show. You win at losing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I got a lot of experience with it, so I'm
And
only
you know
getting
what?
better.
But
I'm only getting better.
and your value is growing through it. You know what I mean? Like the further you slide, the more your value grows. Like you've inverted it somehow.
Yeah, I have thought like in a bizarro world.
I've told
if
you this, yeah.
The Phillies won the World Series,
Yeah.
the Eagles won the Super Bowl, and the Sixers won the finals.
I'd
I
hate
would
you.
be the most hated guy.
Everybody would. Everybody would
I've
hate
had
you.
this
Yeah.
conversation with Max, because it is the weirdest thing at Barstool that you obviously are rooting for your teams, but when they lose, there's a weird silver lining of, well, people won't like start just hating me because I'm winning. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like people
Right.
start, like it's almost like one of our biggest episodes ever was the double doink. And
Oh,
it was
yeah,
like
yeah.
because people just wanted to see me as sad as possible.
That was sad.
And like that, like it is a very fucked up thing to like do the mental gymnastics. Like you don't want to lose, but losing's not the worst.
Yes. Yes.
Again, that sounds like the biggest loser talk ever. But yeah, I do think our show, like our relationship, me and PFT, and then everyone else, like I listen to other podcasts, and I don't know if there's any other podcast that has two hosts that have been doing it for as long, because a lot of podcasts are solo,
Yep.
or there's one like main host and then an ensemble.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think just us hanging out and liking each other does go a long way, because people want to just hang out.
That's exactly the experience that
Yeah.
I have. And I think another way that you can judge a show is like how good are the vibes on recurring guests. You know, I think that's another way, and the vibes are very high on the show. Love the Blakes. Became a huge DK Metcalf fan because of the show. But then I
Fuck
think
him.
my proud
Piece of shit.
and then I think
The reason why I say that, and DK knows this, he ducked us on the NFL draft show.
Oh,
he specifically requested I take time out of my busy day to do a Seahawks thing with him on draft day, and then he just left New York because he was afraid of me.
Yeah.
He knows he's scared, though.
Yeah.
He's a bitch. He probably won't even come back on the show. Whatever.
And then the proudest I am of you guys is when I see you guys knowing where you came from and how you made this work, seeing you interview like the old guard. You know, it's like the Chris Berman interview to me.
Yeah.
That's a proud.
Those are cool.
That was big for me as
Yeah.
an AWL.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned like the ensemble cast, because I think Big Cat and I've described us before as like sometimes the stern father and the crunchy granola mom on the show.
Yeah.
And anytime things get stale in our relationship, we just have another kid.
Yeah.
And it
Right.
saves the marriage.
Just yell at them.
And we're, yeah. So that's actually a good role that Max has filled. Any latent aggression that we might have towards each other gets immediately redirected on somebody new. And if they can take it, then that's really the most important character trait that they have.
Yeah.
The secret to the show's success.
Yeah, I mean, I do love just hearing from other people too, because PFT and I have talked for thousands of hours. So sometimes let's have someone else's opinion, and then we can make fun of that person.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. It's so easy to get caught up in what everyone else needs from you and never take a moment to think about what you need from yourself. When we spend all of our time giving, it can leave us feeling stretched thin. We can feel burned out, running on empty. Therapy is an opportunity to intentionally put yourself first. It can give you the tools to find more balance, clarity, and intention in your life so you can keep supporting others while also thriving as an individual. If you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online. It's designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. If you're ready to try it out, just fill out a brief questionnaire. You can get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. I've heard from a lot of AWLs that have given therapy a try. They're very happy. Once you learn to talk to somebody, express your feelings, express your thoughts, you get your thoughts out there. You start finding out more about yourself. You start finding how to move on from certain things, how to manage certain emotions, big events happening in your life. It's all easier if you're talking to somebody, a qualified therapist, and you can find them at BetterHelp. Find more balance with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/PMT today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/PMT, betterhelp.com/PMT. And now, here's more Sean Evans. Billy's been talking a lot about how AIs or artificial intelligence is going to take our jobs one day.
Yeah.
I actually think that your show might be AI proof.
Because AI can't eat.
It can't feel spice. It can't feel pain.
In certain ways, I do think I've protected myself in the format of the show because it also makes it hard to just go out and get another host too.
True.
You know what I mean? So there's always, I always feel I've insulated myself that way, but am I AI proof, right? Because AI can't eat the wings, but I guess though, name, likeness, they can recreate my voice.
Yeah.
But then I'm wondering too, though, maybe we've timed AI kind of perfectly. You know what I mean? Like when it does get to that point, and then we just license away our name and likeness, and then just disappear to an island.
Have the
somewhere.
robot. Yeah, that's actually a great point.
Do our job
with
for us.
just steady royalty checks coming in.
That might be the new pension.
So I always think hopefully it's AI proof, but then the basement on it it's not badly timed.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, we've had a good run.
Yeah. We've had a good run.
Fitting it tomorrow, we could look back on this. And be like, okay.
That was what a ride, you know.
You did have a quote in an article. I think you did. Maybe it was Vanity Fair. You've been written up a couple times, which are always interesting. But it bummed me out because it made me start thinking about this show. When you said I've probably done more hot ones than I will do.
Right, closer to the end than the beginning.
And I don't like to think like that, but it's a hard thing to stop and be wait, because you don't know when the end will be.
Yeah.
If I could do this show forever, I would, but you never know.
Right. So I mean,
PFT's gonna be in an F-18. He might run this after he dies.
Oh my God.
Probably, yeah.
In memory.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Do you want to say anything
PMT.
nice about me now that I'm dead?
But yeah, it is do you think about that often? Because it is kind of a bummer to think about, but it also, you saying that out loud, I don't want to sound sappy, but it was kind of courageous because it's I'm more of I'll just ignore it and be nah, fuck, everything will stay the same forever. It's good.
It does. It is existentially kind of taxing because I love everything about what I do right now. I love the people that I work with. I love the show. I look forward to Thursdays when the episodes go up, and I just look forward to just watching it. It's just a show that I really like. And I'm king of my little castle, and because we've been doing it with the same team since the beginning, it's kind of like a family affair. And then it feels good from an audience reception point of view, and we've been able to go 20 seasons and beyond that. So everything about it feels so good, and I don't look around at anybody and wish I had that. You know what I mean? I don't look at I wouldn't switch places with anyone in media, entertainment, podcasting, or whatever. And I mean that. There's not another show that I want, another podcast, like whatever. Like the thing that I have is exactly what I want. And then I don't have world takeover aspirations. You know, I'm not Kevin Hart. I'm not The Rock. You know, like this is all good for me. I don't need to be king of the world. Like I like just my little plot of land. You know what I mean?
No,
and so I don't even aspire to be any bigger than it is, you know? So if I could hold on to this, I will for as long as I want. And then I've done enough TV, like just enough TV to know that I don't want to do that. You know, like it's just the exact perfect lane. And I'd like to stay in it as long as I can. And I love doing the show. So I don't know exactly where I see the end of it. So revisiting that quote, I almost want to step that back
and be like, no, you
and
still
see
got
how
more
long
years.
I can go. But I mean, it has been now over 8 years and 20 seasons. So I mean, I don't know how much, but I love it and I don't want it to stop.
It's interesting you say that because we've talked. All AWLs know that we talked ad nauseum about the BVT thing and everything that's happened, and we always say like it was actually
the best
thing. And one of the parts of it being the best thing is it did kind of put us in perspective of like, why are we trying to be on TV when we have this and it's awesome and people love it? Like, we don't need to do World Takeover. We don't need to be these big TV stars. Like, this is more fun than being on TV. Because I do think at the beginning of the show, it was such a rocket ship for us. And we're like, next step, next step, next step. And then when we got to that step and it didn't work, it's like, wait, maybe we don't. Maybe this is the step. We're here.
Right.
We're at the top.
And people like it, you know? And then what else? Why do this for any other reason than to put on a show for an audience that cares about what you do? So as long as you have that, that's the lightning in a bottle. And then once you lose that, you're just going to try to capture that over and over again. And nothing says that you will. So while it's in its moment, just appreciate it, ride it, and see if you can put some fuel behind it. Because once that's over, it just might be like over.
It's great perspective, and I think that people are skeptical of it because they don't understand like saying like I don't want to be on TV. But like that's how I feel now.
Same.
You know what I mean? Like
Same.
People just expect media people to always want to go to the next step, and it's like, no, I actually don't want to be on TV.
And then we'll have to be in a movie after that.
Right.
And then
you have to have bosses.
Then you have to like take some time away from Hollywood and write a play and try to find yourself.
Got to make Broadway. Right.
Dude, when
Stage cred.
When people are like, oh yeah, you guys are gonna leave Barstool, it's like, do you realize that I've had a company card that no one's asked me a question about for fucking like everyone in this room has my card on their Uber. Like no one asked me a question. I would never give that up.
It is
Ever.
pretty nice. So Sean, when you were talking about kind of your mindset behind where you're at right now, I don't think I've ever told you this, Big Cat, but Sean and I went out to dinner. This was a couple years ago. And I was in the middle of trying to figure out where my contract situation was going.
Yeah, I remember.
And I had that same mindset that you had. And it's like you have to appreciate what you have. You're in the perfect location. You don't have to go out, try to prove anything by doing something elsewhere on your own. And the fact that you verbalized that back to me, that made me feel like, okay, so I'm not just being afraid of going out. I actually like what I'm doing, and I want to stay here. So, Sean, you saved PMT.
Yeah.
Congrats.
It was a weird time because it was one of those times that
PMT
and I talked about it throughout the whole thing.
Right.
And it was like, we had a very honest conversations where it was like, hey, we love working together, but we also understand like there's business sides to this that we can't control. So it was always like we were very upfront with each other, but it definitely was weird for both of us because we were like, we want to keep working together, but we also know it might not happen.
Right.
Yeah, and money doesn't necessarily fill that hole that you said, which is like the connection with the audience that you have, the connection with the people that you work with. People should value that more than money. So now I'm not saying like it's female behavior to chase a bag like Jason Whitlock said about Pat McAfee, but I am saying that you have to know what you value. And I think we have that same shared value, which is like there's something meaningful in the connection that you have with the audience, with the people that you work with, that money will never replace.
Yeah, I mean, you have a hit show. How fucking crazy is that? You know what I mean? And that's what everyone wants and is chasing anyway. And then that'll take care of the other stuff. You know, your life gets a little bit better when you have a hit show. So whatever, it might not be the exact dollar amount that you want or whatever, but if you have an audience that cares, then that should kind of be enough, you know?
Mm-hmm. Has there been a big thing that has been offered to you that you've been like, no thanks?
Yeah, I say no to everything. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't even really want to add more to my plate. You know, like there's that side of it where everybody wants to, fully put your hand in as many honey pots as you possibly can and make this thing. But I'm like, I don't know. Like, there's 36 interviews a year that I like really care about. Outside of that, not much, you know, honestly. And then there's not a ton that I want to add to my plate either. You know, I spend a lot of time in airports. It's a labor-intensive show already, or at least takes up a lot of time. So, I don't know. Like, then it's just, everything's good for me. Like, right now, I feel like I could take this and make it last for a while.
Your agent must hate this.
Yeah, kind of. Good question.
I don't want to do anything.
Shout out to Ben. Yeah. Well, yeah, there's right. That actually can come from
shut up, Sean.
That can come from a couple different camps. You know what I mean? Like that can be internal, whatever. A lot of people be like, "Can you please just do this?"
Yeah.
And you know, sometimes I do, but also at the same time, that also makes me low maintenance. You know what I mean? Like it's like you fix one corner of the carpet, you mess up the other one.
Yeah.
You know, sort of thing. And right now, that's what I think is good. That I'm just kind of low maintenance.
Yeah, I have those moments where I'm like, I'll just be like, I'm never leaving Barstool. Like, why the fuck would I do that? And
they're like, we gotta shop, we gotta get options.
Stop fucking saying that. Like, can you please stop saying
that? I know. You're shrinking his leverage position, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah. There was a moment that we had last fall where Billy,
I remember,
tried the was it the Last Dab hot sauce?
Yes.
Put that on the part of my cheesesteak, had it Billy style.
Yep.
And he absolutely flipped out. Like that's probably
I know. I'm gonna ruin my whole night.
Yeah.
How do you deal with the post
getting
show?
Triggered?
How?
Yeah.
I've trained myself like a dog. My favorite part of my week is the post show, dude, because no one can bother me. You know, like that's the time that they know I'm not going to email back. They know I'm not going to text back. I go home or back to the hotel, put on basketball shorts, crank the AC. It's like Pavlovian to me at this point. I've gotten to a point where it's my favorite part of the week. But are you talking about like taking a shit or like the stomach
no,
or
just
like
waking up all night, like total ruined sleep? Have to go to work the next day.
Bill, you're so dramatic.
I know. There's no way.
Half of a cheese.
There's no way you had that kind of a night on 3 bites of like a cheesesteak with some hot sauce.
No,
dude.
but the thing is, like when I did the hot wing challenge on Grit Week, or every time I do like a hot wing challenge, like it's a lot afterwards. Like actually, because you eat one. You only eat one wing, right? Yeah.
I mean, there's 10 wings in the thing, but the way I look at it is like the first 5, if you don't have any sort of hot sauce experience, like kick or whatever. But I always think about it, for me to have this cartoon life, it's once a week eating 3 spicy bites. You know?
Yeah.
But it's the other side of it is like the more often you do it, I think the more your biology adjusts to it.
Yeah.
So I can go from a shoot to Equinox. Like I can go from a shoot to the gym. You know, at this point in my life, it doesn't break my stride.
So you got to eat more hot stuff. Is what
that's what we're saying. Get your weight up.
Yeah. You got to train
big time.
Yeah.
Do you have like a reminder that you set for yourself after you're done eating? Like don't take a piss and use your hands.
I mean, once you do that, any cross-pollination hot sauce mistake you can make, I've made. And then those are pretty uncomfortable, so you just tend to not make those again, you know?
Yeah.
But every once in a while it can catch you, even if you thoroughly wash your hands, you know, even if it was yesterday, you know, like every once in a while it can still get you.
When it gets under your nails.
Yeah. There's no place to know, you know? No, you know what? I've never like thread the needle that way. It's never like I've never Independence Day'd into the pee hole with hot sauce.
Yeah.
But I got time, baby. I got time. Another 20
that would
seasons.
definitely
Yeah.
happen
That's
to
a
me.
good- that's an awesome-
You see one hot commercial, you're like, I got to.
That's a great way to think about it, where it's like Randy Quaid just driving a ghost pepper up your dick.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I would just
immediately where the mind went.
I would have a no hands on shoot days. If I were you, I would wear basketball shorts and then I'd just pull them down, go pants all the way on the ground at the urinal,
Yeah.
and then pull them
That's
right
a good
back
move.
up.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll take that. I'll take that.
Yeah. Well, Sean, this has been awesome. You're a recurring guest now. You
All
gotta
right,
come
sick.
back on.
I'm in the club.
I have one last question. I'm
Sure.
sure PFT does as well, but the Roback question, rhoback.com. Use code TAKE for 20% off your first purchase. Q-Zips, polos, hoodies, joggers, shorts. Roback.com. Use code TAKE, 20% off. It's a 3-part question, so it's dumb like hypotheticals that we all know this stuff doesn't reality is not this, so you don't actually have to worry about it. It's more like what would happen.
Thought exercise.
So yeah, like what if the sun doesn't rise tomorrow?
Right.
Like what? I mean, nothing, right? I mean, we
Is that
we
the
all
first
die.
question?
Yeah, that's the first question.
What if
Yeah.
the sun doesn't rise tomorrow?
Yeah. Like again, we know the sun's gonna rise tomorrow, so it's not a big deal.
Talk about breakfast.
But I don't know. But the herd mentality of the sun not rising, I think, is that is a tsunami kind of butterfly effect.
Right.
People will freak out if the
Right.
sun doesn't rise tomorrow. But I wouldn't. It'd be fine. I'd be chill with it.
Okay, yeah, sleep in.
Yeah.
Like, what if hot ones never happened?
Then I would be. Oh my gosh, I'd still be doing architecture tours of the Chicago River. Probably.
Okay,
I'm
yeah.
not good at
Again,
anything besides what I do.
It doesn't matter because hot ones happened, so you're
Yeah,
good.
no, thank
And
God
like
for
the
that.
last one, I just off the top of my head, like, what if Justin Fields isn't the guy?
All right, well, let's unpackage this
Because again, we know he's the guy.
he is
Like,
the guy.
what
He
if
is the
isn't?
guy. He is the. Well, here's the thing: is being a Chicago sports fan, you're always ready for a rebuild to blow up and take another 8
Correct.
years to give you any kind of hope. So I'm like fully practiced and going through it right now with the White Sox anyway. But here's my thing: Justin Fields. I don't even really understand Bears fans that have like the other side of the argument. I'm like, what have you been watching
Right.
your whole life?
Right.
Like those Jay Cutler years where he threw like 22 picks and 22 touchdowns and 16 picks. That's the best quarterback
Yeah.
play that we've ever seen by far. Otherwise, you have like one Eric Kramer Pro Bowl year.
Yeah.
And like Jim Miller to us is like a good
Very
quarterback.
good. The Jay Cutler year, the best year he had, he broke his thumb because he was making a tackle after an interception. Just put that into perspective.
Right.
That was him playing his
That's
best
what I've
ball.
seen. So I don't like prior to last year, I don't know if I've ever seen the Bears with my eyes get a 3rd and 12. You know what I
they're
mean?
fun.
Like one holding call destroys the whole. So like now with Justin Fields flying around, like I don't even understand Bears fans who have that other side of that coin opinion.
Okay, so I understand it in that I think what people are doing is they're trying to like get in front of it before they get hurt again.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
It's like a cope.
It's like a cope, like, oh, he won't turn out because they don't want to believe in something.
Right.
I want to believe in something.
I do
agree with
too.
you.
I'm
like
dying
the Bears,
to believe in something.
What the Bears did last year, even though they only won 3 games, I don't remember. Like maybe obviously it's the Lovey team that went to the Super Bowl and that defense, maybe the 2018 team because it felt like that defense was on
Right,
that level.
right,
But
right.
like waking up on Sunday and being like, I'm excited to watch the Bears play football.
Right.
Is not a normal feeling.
It is not a year in and year out feel at all.
But I do think there are people, and I've done it every now and then where I'll just be like walking and I'll be like, wait, what if he's not the guy? Fuck. And like this like wave of like pessimism and dread washes
Right.
over me. And I also, week 1 is going to be the most important non-playoff game in Chicago Bears history.
In a while.
Because it is the Jordan Love, like if the Packers beat the Bears, then they have all season to be like, haha, you idiot Bears fans.
Right.
So yeah,
I think I'm going
nervous.
to go to that game actually.
Okay.
You should go. We should go.
Is it? We can't go on Sundays because we have to work.
You know what we
But-
should do though? Week 5, Commanders Bears.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we can
all
go
right.
to
Thursday
that.
night.
Yeah, we can go to that.
Yeah, let's do that.
That
I
one
want to
we
go
go
to
to?
that. Yeah, I want to go to that.
But so he's the guy.
He's the guy, but it would be very Bears. It would be Bearsian if he's not.
I think this one would hurt the most.
It would.
This
yes.
restart would hurt the most.
And too, because I'm getting too old, like
Yeah.
like I'm starting to get there where I'm like, oh, so they're not going to be good until I'm in my 40s. You
Right.
know, like I have no hope until then. I can't go. That would suck.
It would hurt.
But I'm practiced.
It would hurt the most though too because it feels like there's just such a blank slate with the team, the roster, free agents, all that shit.
All my teams got to start playing better. It just
Well, Jerry Reinsdorf has to sell. I don't know how you
Jeez.
do it as a White Sox and Bulls fan
I
because
know.
he is the worst. He is the worst,
know,
and he
I
doesn't get
know.
enough credit for being the worst.
If I give him the benefit of the doubt, he's a very loyal guy, or he's loyal to his guys. You know what I
Too
mean?
much, yeah.
I know, not a
Way
good,
too much.
not a good quality for a professional sports owner, as I think that we've seen play out. In fact, I was complaining to my dad the other day because I was like, you know what's crazy? Take 2005 out of it. The White Sox have not won a playoff series in my entire life.
That's crazy to think about. Because if you asked me, I'd be like, oh, the White Sox haven't been that bad. They won a World Series.
Yeah.
Yeah, in 2005. Take that out. They haven't won a playoff series in my entire life. And I was complaining to my dad about this, not to undersell 2005 is amazing, one of the greatest summers of my life. Shout out to all the legends. But I was complaining about this to my dad. I'm like, I'm 37 years old. They've won a playoff series in 1 year of my entire life. And he goes, oh, cry me a river. Same for me. And I'm 68.
Oh,
you know what I
shit.
mean? Like, if you really look at the history of like how sort of oscillating between like mid and being ass cheeks they are,
Yeah.
it's statistically, it defies everything. So
it's the same as like the Bears. Where
it's definitely they are both
Yeah.
franchises that owe their fans so much better than they've delivered on in
Right.
recent history. But the fans are amazing. It's a great sports town, and I'm too deep in. I've committed too much, so I just have to stand by
needs
my
to sell
man
the
and
team.
ride it out. Ride it out.
I mean,
We'll
it's
see.
a big if, but if Michael Jordan doesn't exist, like Jerry Reinsdorf is the worst
Right.
owner of all time.
Right.
Like he, that, like he really, like Michael Jordan, he wins 6 titles. Like there's nothing really else besides that he can show for.
Right.
And he
right.
didn't even draft him.
Right.
So
Does he pretend to be poor?
he does.
I like those
No, he
guys.
does.
I respect the billionaires that are like, I just don't have any money. I'm sorry. What do you want from me? Times are tough.
He did a I don't know if you heard it, but he was like doing a crypto conference or something, and he was bemoaning how he's like, all these teams are selling for billions of dollars. I don't believe it. Like the revenue doesn't show. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up.
Right,
And just take your billions and go.
Yeah, I don't even understand the motivation of like owning something like that, except if you buy in where he bought in. I don't know, it's like 20 million and now what's that worth?
Yeah.
Or 25 million and now what's that worth? But otherwise, like if you get in the game now, like what's the point other than to win and leave some kind of legacy or something?
Yeah,
If you're one of these old owners, though, you have also seen, like, obviously the value of the team has grown so much over the years, but also just numbers-wise, your expenses that you write out, those have also gone up due to inflation, also the market just getting massive for professional sports. I think a lot of old owners have the mindset of just they hate to spend money. So all they see is like, oh, I'm spending all this money now. I didn't used to spend this
and
much
all of
money.
that has exploded, so I can kind of understand the sticker shock. But if you're not built for that game, then get the fuck out of it.
Well,
That's the way I
it's
look
also
at it.
like the difference between an owner who is rich and then buys a team versus an owner who bought a team and then
And
got
made
rich
money off
because
it.
of
Right,
the team.
right.
So like that, the same with the Bears. Like they just all the McCaskey's money is that team.
Right.
So I think it distorts you, and fuck, man, Justin Fields has to be the guy.
Yeah, I mean, that would take care of a lot of this.
It would.
This,
It
all
really
of
would
this that's
solve a
inside
lot
of
of
me.
problems.
Yeah,
At the very
it really
least,
would.
he's so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's actually enjoyable.
His highlight reel is, I love it.
He's the guy.
He is the guy.
Yeah, see what I'm doing
all
right
in.
now? I'm
all
talking
in.
myself. I let that
Both
like,
of us, we're
thread.
working together through
Yeah.
this. We're
Just
working together
washed
through it.
over
Look
me.
at you guys.
Yeah.
Look, who would have thought?
Not me.
Best quarterback in the league. I am gonna just. I have like a file of people I want to dunk on if he ends up like
Oh yeah, I'm
winning
sure
an
you
MVP
do. I'm
or a
sure
Super
you
Bowl.
do. Yeah,
Oh, my
yeah. You've been
God.
keeping receipts.
And I've said this before, but like I now like anyone who calls any quarterback a run, like people who criticize Lamar Jackson, like I will take up that fight and like fight for Lamar and Jalen Hurts. Like anyone's like, oh, all he does is run.
Lamar
Shut
sucks.
the fuck up.
I don't want Lamar.
Shut the fuck up. These guys are really good fucking passers too. Fucking assholes. Well, Sean, this has been awesome, man.
yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Yeah. We got to have you back on.
Recurring, it's a dream. That would be a dream.
Yes.
Recurring
Again,
guest
for
here.
sure.
Recurring
Yes.
guest
Well,
here.
when you come for the Bears Packers game,
Hell
come.
yeah.
Maybe just watch it with us in the gambling cave.
All right, I'll do that.
That'll be
I'll do
just
that.
as fun.
Like you can watch it. You can watch it live in person.
Are you
beat
guys
the
going to be in
Packers.
Chicago by then?
Oh yeah.
Fuck
Yeah.
yeah.
We'll
All right,
have
I'll
the
be
gambling
back.
cave
I'm gonna be
set
there.
up.
Yeah, next week.
Yeah.
Summer in Chicago.
Yeah.
All
Give me
right,
some
it's
tips.
beautiful.
Give me an
Yeah.
insider tip about Chicago.
Take the architecture tour. I'll go on there with you. Maybe if I still remember my game, but it's really good. But don't go to any tour. You got to go to the Chicago Architecture Foundation one. All right, because that's going to be like a former like architecture professor or something like that. Chicago's first lady. That's the one to do. Don't worry, I'll get you sorted.
Okay.
Um,
Which is the
wait,
one
what-
that had a bunch of shit dumped on it by Dave Matthews Band? Was it that one?
It might have been. Yeah.
I'll take my chances.
Wait, what's your favorite wings? Is it Buff Joe's?
Here's the deal. I can never, once the show's done, I can never look at another chicken wing again in my
That's
life.
fair.
But I guess like the canned sort of Chicago one, and they are good. Like the Tunes wings.
Yep.
Tunes kind of classic.
Bird's Nest is my
Bird's
favorite.
Nest
Yeah.
is another one that I kind of recommend because I get that question like when people are in Chicago, like I have like an encyclopedic knowledge of wings or something. But those are the ones. And then
We got to get you wing nuts in Buffalo.
Yeah.
what's your deep dish place?
Pequods.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. So you're kind of like old school, you know.
Yeah, I love Pequods. Yeah.
There you
I
go.
also, fuck, what's it called?
You know what's real good about the Bird's Nest wings? Every time I've had them, they're
Paisanos?
served and there's just steam coming off the wings. Just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
piping
That-
hot.
I mean, that does kind of sound nice. Maybe
Yeah.
that could get me back into wings.
All right, well, Sean Evans, thanks
Sounds
so
good.
much,
Thank
man.
you, guys.
Mount Rushmore is brought to you by the Barstool Sportsbook. I got my Barstool Sportsbook account open right here. I'm putting some bets in. I bet on the U.S. Open. I had Ricky Fowler, I had Max, I had Brooks. Not a great weekend for me on that front, but I did have Brooks when he won earlier. Made a pretty penny off that. We're betting on baseball this summer, all sorts of games, all sorts of action going on there. You can download and sign up for the Barstool Sportsbook today. You can bet the Barstool exclusives. We got exclusive bets for myself. Hank's in there. Big Cat's putting bets in there all the time. You can bet alongside us. We got odds boosts. Check it out. Download it today. Terms apply. Must be 21 or older. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. It's the sponsor of Mt Rushmore today. The Mt Rushmore of dudes you don't want to fuck with. And it's brought to you by the Barstool Sportsbook.
Okay, Mount Rushmore time. Today we're doing Mount Rushmore of guys not to fuck with. Good one. This is a good one. This is a spicy one. What Hank?
Problematic?
Why?
Is
Why would it be problematic? What's problematic about guys not to fuck with? I think it's a problematic if you make it problematic.
It's not gender inclusive.
Oh, girls not to fuck with
well,
too?
guys.
We'll do-
No, guys is.
That's not where Billy was thinking. Billy had some answers that were problematic. He had no idea what you're talking
guys
about in
is
gender.
guys is neutral.
Yeah, guys not to fuck with. We'll do
Yeah, it
girls
could be
not
girls.
to fuck with after. We'll do girls not to fuck with later.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that.
So that'll be a future Mount Rushmore. Beautiful.
Girl with a absolutely smashed iPhone.
Yes.
You don't fuck with her.
Girl.
When I see a girl with a smashed iPhone, though, I'm like, who?
Yeah.
Girl, yeah, woman with a minivan.
Yeah. Girls at brunch. Just girls at brunch. Yeah,
Just
we'll
girls.
do the whole thing.
Just girls in general. Don't fuck with women.
All right, we have first pick. So it's going to go PFT and myself, Billy and Jake, then Hank and Max. Our first pick, I'll let PFT say it. This is the easiest one
This
in
was easy.
history.
I think we all thought this when the topic got sent out. Guy with cauliflower ear.
Done.
Yeah. You
1-1.
see cauliflower ear, you turn around.
It's a absolute red blinking sign that says do not fuck with this guy because you know he's been in some shit.
That dude in the Oklahoma bathroom would have done well to take note of that.
Yeah. It's the universal just do not fuck with this person. Okay. Billy and Jake.
Are you good with the 2-2? Sure. Yep. God.
Okay.
Good pick.
God is a guy.
God is a guy,
Well,
I guess.
it doesn't matter if he don't take the chance.
Okay.
Wait, which God? Are we talking Old Testament or New Testament?
We're talking
Muslim?
anyone. Yeah.
Okay.
Just
okay.
big man.
Just
Whoever it is.
whatever you want.
Just don't fuck with them.
I think you have to pick a specific god.
No.
Because what if
the whole
someone else
pantheon.
wants to do a different god?
No. The whole pantheon.
Muhammad.
Okay.
That's multiple
That's-
guys.
Yeah. No. We're taking all of them.
Okay. That is multiple guys.
All right, we're gonna
No,
go
it's
with
not.
a guy holding a gun.
Oh,
Yep.
that's good. That's
Okay.
pretty apparent.
Smart.
So
If a guy's holding that, if they have
what
a
about
gun
police
on
officer,
them,
you don't.
if they're holding it, don't fuck with them.
Okay.
Like if a police officer is holding a gun in his hand, you're not gonna go up and pants him.
Gun guy.
Yeah, well, yeah, I would hope you don't.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what fucking with is, right?
Would you fuck with the police officer
like
not holding?
I
a
wouldn't
gun?
go like na 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 na.
Oh, I would fuck with English police. English police without guns. Yeah.
I think if it's in the holster, it's a little bit different. But if they're holding, they're holding in their hand.
But
it's
hey,
like
what if the guy with the gun was about to shoot Max? Would you not fuck with him and try to take him out?
Well, you could say that
No.
about any single
Yeah.
one of these. Would you not do the same with someone with cauliflower ear?
Definitely not. I'd let you die.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
but gun, no.
Nah, yeah, gun, I'd take him out.
Okay, good pick.
then we're gonna go with a crazy homeless guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just don't fuck with them.
Don't fuck with them. Don't engage. If they're, it's you just don't fuck with them. You don't go near them. You don't try and talk to them. You never know what they're gonna do. Stories come out all the time. They'll bite you. They'll who knows what will happen.
Don't fuck with the crazy homeless guys. Easy.
Yeah. Okay. I like to give homeless people money, but yeah, that's fine. That's just the kindness of my heart.
There's
Yeah,
a
but
difference
that's-
between
that's-
homeless
yeah.
and
That
crazy
is that is
homeless,
that is
though.
being generous. That's
Yeah.
not fucking with
No,
them.
we're talking
would
about
you
fuck-
would you go up to them and then give them a dollar bill and then pull it away from them?
No, but like,
That might go viral on TikTok.
think about
Like you're saying you're like you keep bringing up these references as if
No,
like,
I know.
the
That was
context
joking.
is
I know.
fucking with them.
Crazy
Yeah.
homeless guy is different than homeless guy asking.
yeah,
But it's also like,
I fuck
I'm
with
not-
homeless people.
Yeah.
Like in the I fuck with them way.
Yeah.
I buy them a meal.
But it's guys not
Talk
to
it
fuck
out.
with. It's
Talk
not
it
guys to fuck with. It's
Yeah,
guys
You're also
not to fuck with.
Billy's right. You're forgetting the crazy
Crazy,
part is
crazy.
everything.
And you're forgetting the not to fuck with part of
Yes.
the entire Mount Rushmore, which is somewhat important.
Okay.
You guys are.
All right. No,
We're trying to
just
bend the
asking
rules.
questions.
It's fine.
No, we're not. We're having debate.
It's called podcasting,
If we
Hank.
list off all of our picks, just like list them all off and
That'd be
just keep
electric.
moving, that would be so boring.
Be electric.
This is the whole point of Mount Rushmore season, have discussion around it. Okay.
Over on the
From the guys that brought you God, what do we got?
the devil.
All right, we're gonna go with Bill Belichick after you fumble.
Oh,
good
okay.
pick.
Good pick.
Get in the doghouse.
That is a good
Yeah.
pick.
Career's over.
I think PFT, we should go with our 2
Yeah,
here.
I like
That's
2.
easy. This one, I'm shocked it got all the way back to us. What do you think I'm going to say?
I know. I'm not going to say it but I know what
Don't
this
say
is.
it.
No, you don't.
Yeah,
No,
don't
you
say
don't.
it.
I
No.
guarantee you
know.
don't know.
Max
No.
doesn't know.
You do not know.
He doesn't. You're right.
Okay. The IT guy. Don't fuck with him. Do not fuck with him.
What was that? Sorry.
The IT guy. Guy who does the computers in your office. That's the last person you want to fuck with.
He knows
He knows
can get
everything.
every bit of information about you. He can watch you as you surf the net. He can get your financial information.
He
if
does
you want to.
everything. You don't want to be on the wrong side of the IT guy.
He can plant
pick.
evidence.
Yeah.
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 Good pick.
Okay.
That's a great pick by us.
Yes.
So for a third big cat, I like 9. I like 10.
Yeah, I think 10 is pretty solid. 9 or 10, either way. You go. Surprise me. Keep it interesting between us.
A guy wearing black Air Force Ones.
Yes. Good pick.
Black Air Force Ones. Again.
On
I was
site.
literally just texting Max. If we
On
get
site.
that, we're
Yeah.
winning.
Well, thank you for complimenting our pick.
Yes.
Good pick. No, it's a
Yeah.
good
No, it's a
pick.
good
Great
pick.
pick.
It's a good
What
pick.
did you think I was going to say?
I won't say it.
Oh,
I won't say it.
I know
won't say
what
it.
he thinks you were going to say.
Okay. Okay.
And it might be on our list.
Okay. Oh, I know what you think. Okay, I do. I now know. Okay. I do. Go ahead, Billy and Jake.
Just a warning, Billy's not giving me an answer. I think so. I think he's going rogue here.
Okay, let's
Yes.
go.
Yes. Do it, Billy.
Billy Rogue time.
Billy,
Go
it's
off,
going to
Billy.
be tough
It's-
when you have to do
go
this
off,
stream
Billy.
and you're not even like, you're going to have to come to Chicago to do this
Yeah.
stream.
I know.
And you're
I'm
scared
gonna
of
miss,
Chicago.
I'm going to miss my flight.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you going to
Come
take
on,
the
Billy.
entire city of Chicago, Billy?
No, I'm kidding. Chicago's overrated crime-wise.
Yeah.
Uh,
There actually was a funny TikTok of it was MLB teams standings if you did it based on murder rate. And the Cubs, I think, were 4th in the NL Central. And everyone on Twitter was like, how's this possible? This is bullshit.
Midwesterners just have such a low tolerance for crime. As opposed
I don't
to,
think
like,
that's
East
what it
Coasters.
is.
That's exactly what it is.
No,
that's why
I
it gets
don't think that's
hyped up.
what it is. We don't have to get into it deeply. but I
People
think
just
it's-
don't realize how many people live in Chicago.
Yes, and that it's used as
So
a
we're going
pawn.
to go with Albanians.
Okay.
All right, good
They,
pick.
do not fuck with Albanians. They're like,
You're saying don't fuck with.
no, not
we
Jeff
have to
the
bleep
Dude.
that out.
No, like they took over the hitman jobs for the mafia.
Okay.
Now we're getting very racist.
Yeah, I was going to say
What?
that.
Okay. Albanians, a whole,
No, dude,
a whole
Albanians-
country of people. Don't fuck with
Don't
them.
fuck with them.
Some-
They'll even tell you that.
Yeah, they're not all hitmen. Sometimes they just raise the price of cancer drugs.
Don't fuck with Albanians.
Okay.
Skrelly's Albanian?
Oh, big time Albanian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Huge
doesn't give up those vibes.
Huge Albie.
All right, we're going to go with guys who have the higher ground.
Okay.
Good answer. Good answer. That's a good.
Sports Stadium,
Yeah.
Anakin Skywalker.
That's in the Art of War, Sun Tzu.
Yeah, Sun
Don't
Tzu.
fuck with them.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And then I'm running point. I'm going to kick it to Max in the corner.
Let's
you
go,
keep
Max.
stashed in the corner
Okay.
like a child.
No, that's where he's like PJ Tucker. He's wet from the corner.
Are we? Did you see my last text? You're just letting me
your
run
ball.
with it.
You got the
Run
ball.
it.
All right,
Run-
Cali teens.
Oh, those are guys?
Yeah,
Those are teenagers.
correct. This is what you were
Those are
thinking.
guys? Those are teenagers.
Yes.
Are we doing teenagers not to fuck with? Kids not to fuck with?
Now you're gonna get the
What?
people
They're
who
just
think-
not. What? They're just not. They're just not guys.
You're
So
gonna get the
they're
thinker
teenagers.
big
What is
cat
that?
vote.
What is this
You're not
distinction
a guy
that you're
until
doing?
you're 18.
This was
That's not true at all.
Yeah.
This was
See,
this was a weird pander pick because
Yeah.
it was like just basically designed to keep the pick away from
Correct.
Big Cat.
Yeah,
And
that is correct.
I'm looking at our list.
It's
I don't.
just too bad.
I don't even
'cause
think that we're gonna take.
you
that.
should just pick what you think, not what someone else.
No,
thinks.
he's trying to get big cat votes to make people think that you picked that.
It's a little rent-free
It's kinda-
situation.
It's kind of bullshit.
No, that I mean,
That's true. No,
you
you don't
could've
want to
taken
fuck
the
with
pick.
California teenagers.
Yeah.
You,
Okay.
they're-
Why? Why, Max?
Yeah, why?
because they're scary. They're way cooler than you.
Smash you in the head with your
Yeah.
skateboard.
Okay, okay.
They'll fucking steal your
dude,
wallet.
they're all twigs.
Okay.
I think that Cali teens have actually gotten less intimidating since we've started doing this podcast.
No.
Yeah.
We've
No.
destigmatized
Now
it.
they'll like TikTok in your face.
They can get
While
legal
doing
weed.
it. Yeah.
You can get legal weed. That's true. You can do that pretty much anywhere.
Great
in this-
pick, Max.
in this-
But
in
before
America. Okay.
All right, Billy took his. I'm gonna take mine here. The Undertaker.
It's not real, Jake.
What do you mean?
Well, it is real. But
If he rolls his eyes back and does the slash thing, that's the scariest thing of all time.
it is real. But yeah. Okay.
It's never happened.
Billy is
Yeah, it
so
has.
mad at Jake.
In real
Yeah,
life?
This is great.
So mad.
This is real life.
Would be great to see Billy and
it's
Jake
not.
in this
What
24
happens?
hours.
Billy is
No, it
so
doesn't.
like genuinely upset.
Very upset.
Jake, the Undertaker's not a real person.
Okay, PFT. I
on the show.
think this is our draft to win if we just go with the right pick here.
Okay, so I like
love our
6. I like
I think we
I
go,
like 7.
I think we go 6.
You want to go 6?
Yeah.
And I like 6 and 7. So if you like 6, we'll do 6.
Yeah, I think that's a good round out. Okay. We're gonna go with anyone named Kyle. Don't fuck with them. Kyle's are fucking crazy.
That's the last pick?
yeah,
Kyle's
that's
got-
the last pick.
they
Billy,
got
you can
nothing
try
to
to do
lose.
this, but you're not good at this.
Dude,
Uh,
no.
Anyone named Kyle?
Kyle?
Yeah, Kyle's are fucking
Dude,
crazy.
Kyle's low T and lives in his mom's basement.
That's wrong. Kyle
And
drinks
no-
fucking Monster Energy and jumps off random shit.
Kyle
tell-
Shanahan.
No, dude,
Yeah,
Kyle.
don't
Kyle
fuck with Kyle
Shanahan.
Shanahan.
Don't fuck with Kyle Shanahan.
Kyle doesn't leave his house because he's like
No, Kyle
What?
leaves
In
his
his mom's
house
basement.
all the time. He's in other people's
no,
basements.
Yeah.
No,
He
Kyle is-
literally, you're describing a guy who has nothing to lose.
Monster Kyle. Like,
You're describing a
drinks
guy who
that
has
'cause
nothing
he
to
can't
lose.
get up in the morning because he's lazy.
Kyle
And
XY.
that's how he gets the baseline.
But
He's
Kyle-
drinking Monster.
A guy who lives with his mom has nothing to lose. Zero to lose.
I have a friend named
Yeah.
Kyle who's the easiest guy to
Dude,
fuck with.
Kyle-
Oh, is it the,
Yeah,
is it
yeah,
the guy
so-
that kisses you?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
No, that's another one.
Oh, okay.
It's a different Kyle.
It's a different,
Yeah,
it's a different guy.
Dude,
Kyle's got the sickest sound system in his car.
Durango.
Kyle's are just
white
They're
Durango.
fucking. Your parents tell you not to hang out with Kyles. You don't want to
because-
he get you in trouble.
Imagine
because
this.
he'll get
fuck
you
with them.
beat
Imagine
up
this. Your
because he's
daughter.
weak.
Your daughter comes home from school. Dad, I finally get asked to prom. Oh, who's taking you? It's Kyle. Oh my God.
No.
Because Kyle can't defend her in case of
no,
a problem.
no.
Nine
but like
months
I don't.
later,
I,
you're
you
gonna have
guys
another
can't
kid in
name a
your
Kyle
house.
that's like scary.
Yeah.
Kyles are scary. I mean,
But, like,
you
you
know,
name-
Kyle.
Rittenhouse.
Yeah. Boom. Done. In your
You're scared of
face.
him?
Bauer. Cauliflower here.
Yeah, Hank, you just said a guy carrying a gun. We took a guy with a gun.
Who likes to carry guns.
Okay, fair counterpoint.
Okay. Honorable mentions.
Chris Kyle.
I literally had a whole list of badass Francis Ngannou, Brock Lesnar, Kimbo Slice, Vladimir
Lesnar?
Klitschko,
Who is that?
Who is it? Brock Lesnar?
Brock Lesnar,
Yeah.
Okay.
and Jake chose The Undertaker.
Well, I mean, you could pick like specific guys. Yeah.
I mean, the Undertaker. If you're choosing
Nate
between
Diaz is probably the he
Yeah,
actually
Nate
just
Diaz.
choked a guy out. Like
Diaz is
the
good
people
pick.
that
I actually thought that was Logan Paul to this day,
yeah.
which is insane.
what
Right,
other honorable mentions?
I had dad with multiple kids under 5. I just know that if you see a dad with multiple kids under 5, don't fuck with them.
That was the one we should have taken. I should have kicked the ball to Max. Anyone that has personal security.
Ooh,
So like, because those security guards don't give a fuck.
that's true.
Like if you go up to that person,
good
whoever
one.
it is, that security guard will kill you, and they don't care. If it's like a team thing or they're at a sporting event, like maybe they're just like punching the clock, doing their job. But if they're like a personal security guard, they'll fuck you up.
Yeah.
that was,
that was good.
we had
That's-
one that
that's-
was kind of similar to the IT guy, but anyone involved with Anonymous,
Chechens.
don't fuck with them. You just list off
Dagestanis.
all the countries.
No, they're badasses, dude.
Um,
It's like they're badasses.
neck
They will fuck you up.
tattoos, face tattoos.
No.
Those
Yeah.
tattoos.
There's a lot of people who get those tattoos to look tough, but aren't actually tough.
We just had Wu-Tang Clan. Nothing to fuck with.
The cat before coffee.
Yeah, me before coffee. Steve Smith Sr. was our only guy, like singular guy, like that. Any others that were missed?
I had the
Carl Everett.
Okay.
okay. I had
Why?
He like beat the fuck out of a catcher in the minor leagues. Right?
Did he?
okay.
Are you thinking of Milton Bradley?
I thought Carl Everett.
Milton
Maybe.
Bradley was a bad dude.
I thought it was Carl Everett. There's a video of a minor leaguer like turning around and just smashing the catcher in the face.
Oh,
with his bat.
that's
not
was
Carl Everett.
No. I don't know.
Sorry,
who that is,
sorry,
but it
Carl Everett.
Along those same lines,
I
I would
just
say
besmirched your name.
Roughneck Odor.
Yeah.
He's
Nolan
about it.
Ryan.
Nolan Ryan. Don't fuck with Nolan Ryan.
Yeah.
What am I?
The Archduke Franz Ferdinand.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of stuff happens.
But that's more.
Cats.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't fuck with cats.
Good pick.
All right, yeah, sorry, Carl.
The quiet.
I
kid.
just looked it up. Player kicks catcher Izzy Alcantara. Izzy Alcantara. Is that who you're thinking of?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know why I thought that was Carl. I'm gonna find what I was thinking of.
The,
But Carl Everett, great guy.
The distant cousin of the Black Air Force Ones. Anybody that's wearing Timbs that are older than 3 years.
Yes.
Oh, guy with no shoelaces.
Mm-hmm.
That's you a lot.
Yeah, that's you. That's just you trying to be the tough guy.
No, that was. But like guy with actually no shoelaces.
Yeah.
We should definitely do because there's somebody that's related to that guy that Big Cat was talking about, and I was like, no, that is a guy that you fuck with. We should do a list of guys that you absolutely do fuck with.
Yeah, we should do that as a list. We'll do that as Mount Rushmore as well.
Put down the list, Jake.
Yeah. Okay. Good Mount Rushmore. Everyone go vote.
All right, good show, boys. Great interview with Sean Evans. Numbers.
69.
6.
That was. I didn't have to try.
Billy, your brain's moving at the pace of a Diamondback tortoise.
No, I.
How did you like? I started to wrap up the show, and you moved away to like plug in this machine.
To do my job and make sure that we can do this.
But how did you not like? That was too easy.
I've given up on 69.
Okay, great.
I'm all about 21.
Also, shout out the guy. What's his name?
David E.
David E. Incredible. Created PardonMyBalls.com, which has like all the stats from all the numbers. We're gonna do some fun stuff. I talked to him. I reached out to him. Jeff D. Lowe, get your own fucking guy. Jeff D. Lowe swooped in fast. Did you see that?
Way. I saw the tweet.
Dude, Jeff D. Lowe, get your own fucking guy. This is our guy. This is our nerd. Jeff D. Lowe tweeted, man, this rules. What an awesome website. I wish I could do this shit. We'll revive movierankings.net and then make one for the dozen trivia. It was like, we basically like found a hot girl at the bar and we're like, I'm going to go take a piss. And we came back and Jeff D. Lowe's like got her in a corner, like 2 inches from her face. Being like, oh yeah, was my friend bothering you? So that's our guy, Jeff T. Lowe. But pardonmyballs.com, check it out. He was saying that he can set it up that people will be able to maybe submit their guesses with like a time. So like we can actually check it and like
sick.
People can start like actually keeping track of how they do. So it's not just, oh, I got it. Like they can actually do it on a app or something. So we will figure that out for the new lottery ball. All right,
that.
so
this dude rocks. He's
the man.
Created such a like visually entertaining product here. I was looking at Hank's his spray chart for his guesses that he has. Hank guessed I think 96 different numbers on his quest to get one ball correctly. Remember when you said that you had like a system that you were sticking to, and it was just basically guess every number?
Well, this just goes to show, my organizational skills. Because at one point I said I'm going to go 1 through 100, and every day I go 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. I missed 60, 74, 92, and 97. But I was pretty close.
He almost got all of them. He almost guessed every single number.
It's incredible. Like just looking at I could look at Hanks. Like I'd make a poster out of Hanks. And just having 1772 times.
Well, when I saw it, I was like, oh, this is going to be funny. All my scores are going to be lit up because I, in my head, picked every number. And I was like, you're a fucking idiot. You couldn't even do that.
Big Cat, I have a question because I don't know if we discussed this yet. I wasn't online that much on Friday. We're doing stuff down here for Premier Rugby Sevens in Austin. I don't know who won Mount Rushmore, the first bowl. Do you happen to know?
We forgot to say, yes.
PFT pulled over to check the poll. I'm not joking.
We squeaked one out. It was actually incredible.
He also retweeted it when he said we weren't going to retweet.
Wait, Jake,
That's
who
cheating.
did?
That's just cheating.
Wait, you did
PFT
PFT?
retweeted it.
Yeah,
I
that's cheating.
unretweeted it. Jake, you
That's
narc.
an L. They should just that should be no win for whoever retweeted it.
I unretweeted it. Jake, you're a tattletale,
We
Jake.
tied. It was
Oh,
tied.
you're a
and we
criminal,
won by
PFT. You're a
2%.
criminal.
When did
criminal.
he retweet it?
Right when it came out, I saw it, and force a habit, I
him
hit
up.
retweet,
Lock
then I
him up.
unretweeted it.
Lock him up.
Oh, so it wasn't at the end.
Oh my
No,
god!
it
Here
was
we go,
not at the
Jake.
end.
Here we
I
fucking
think
It was
go.
not. No,
That's-
it was the
unretweeted
second it came out.
It's literally the two hosts of a podcast versus two producers and two, third mics, and you guys still have to go through these lengths to win by 2%.
Why does that even make a difference? I retweeted it at right when it came out at the
If it
very
didn't make a
start.
difference, why do we make it a rule?
I don't know. I don't know why he made a rule, but then I remembered that it was a rule, so I unretweeted it.
We'll take a self-imposed 1-point penalty. So we have 1 point. You guys have 1
It was
point.
Thank you.
No,
Thank you.
no, Jake, don't shut. No,
Thank
Jake,
you.
Jake.
Thank you.
Jake,
Thank you.
you can't fucking go back on. You just narked and then be like, no, I don't
Narking.
want-
It's called sticking by the rules.
Okay,
Yes.
but be consistent.
Integrity.
Be
Jake
consistent.
is a
Don't
ref, he's blowing the
narc
whistle.
and then be like,
Fine.
oh, I didn't mean anything by
Fine.
it. No.
Self-imposed
Integrity.
PFT, right is right. We're gonna take a 1-point penalty. So we have 1 point. Hank and Max have 1 point. Jake and Billy have 0 points.
Jake, would
I
you
think
say
that's
that
fair.
if you guys did that, did you get disqualified?
Thank you. Thank
What?
you. I
By
appreciate
myself.
that.
Yes.
Yeah.
What did you say,
No, I
Hank?
just feel like if the situations were reversed, that there'd be a DQ, but that's fine. 1 point's a nice self-imposed. That's
Put him in the box.
He retweeted it for how long, PFT?
I don't know how long it was up there.
Fact or fiction? We said we wouldn't retweet.
It was.
I
Put him
agree,
in the
Hank.
box.
The instant that I remembered that I was not supposed to retweet, I unretweeted it.
Put him in the box.
How long was it
So,
retweeted for, Jake?
It was like 10 minutes.
Hank,
I
you
mean,
don't
that's an
think?
eternity. That is an eternity.
All right,
That's
so
a
what
lot
would
of
you like,
likes.
Hank? What would you like us to do?
Expulsion. I think the season's
Shut
over.
Shut up.
PFT, you got to be better than that.
I know. I do. Okay. Tell you what. I will.
Thank God you brought it up, PFT, on your own goodwill.
Yeah,
too,
why the
'cause I
fuck?
fucking didn't know that.
I,
And
'cause
Jake,
you
I
wouldn't-
I didn't know that
definitely
either.
This big of a deal. I
You
unretweeted
Jake
it.
up, Jake. Thank you. That was very cool.
Jake is a bitch. I'm gonna fucking.
No,
I'm
no,
gonna,
no.
I'm gonna, fu- I'm
He
gonna
is the
fucking
law.
stab him when he's sleeping.
He
We
is
got
the
crushed,
law.
but we lost by the.
He is the law.
I'm gonna stab you.
No, law and order. Someone's got to keep it.
It was anonymous
Yeah.
though. Our names weren't even
Unless
on
you're
it.
stealing turtles.
It would be one thing if our names were on it, then I'd retweet it, and then it would say PFT as one of the names, and then that would tell everybody what to vote for. Our names weren't even on it.
Cry to the rules committee, not the.
Who's on the rules committee, Hank?
Shut up, Hank.
It's
You're
you guys.
pissed.
That's who I'm crying to right now.
Criminal.
You're just pissed because you suck at golf.
Criminal.
No. We sucked at golf. It was a team.
Oh, I wasn't
played
talking
well.
about you guys playing together. I was just saying in general he sucks at golf.
I had some good
Can I
shots.
hit this thing?
I gotta get out there more. I gotta track myself.
All right, my number.
How
is,
about that? What if I do that? I'll live track myself.
No. 26 would be my number.
Okay, ready? Mine's 21. 1.
No.
60.
Did Hank and them say?
Yeah. I thought they
60.
did earlier.
Hank, what'd you say?
60.
Memes never gotten it.
Is that true?
Damn.
Okay, I'm about to hit it. Is everyone good?
Yeah.
All right, I'm hitting it. 1, 2, 3.
I would love to see Dirk pull up to
56.
Oh, I feel like that's been hit a lot.
56.
Oh, yeah, that just hit 3 shows ago.
56.
Damn, I bet it's 56 the most.
We did it with
Max has
Max
guessed
Homa.
56 the most.
It was during the
Max
Max
loves
Homa drawing.
56. Why don't you pick it?
I'm looking at this fucking website, and this guy's a genius. We should hire him.
Yeah.
You're kind of a 56 guy too, Big Cat.
Fifth time.
Orcas are actually dolphins. Killer whales are dolphins.
PFT, why did you retweet that?
I didn't mean to. It was just a force of habit.
Criminal. Jail.
It was the most honest
Jail.
mistake that anybody could ever make.
Jail.